Hello, and welcome to episode 552 of the Awesome Comics Podcast, the place where the small press makes one hell of a big noise. My name is Vince Hunt, and joining me as always is the artist, writer, and creator of Vanguard, Dan Butcher.
Hello.
Calling in from his ship, currently on the latest season of The Deadliest Catch, it's Tony Esmond.
Hello.
The reason I say that, listeners, is that you'll never know, but for the past, I think it's a month, isn't it, Dan? Tony's
That's why it's been cold.
A big woolly hat. But, you're up in the top room of the tower, aren't you? I say that like you're Rapunzel. But, I mean, you do have long flowing hair.
I told you that if I take my clothes off, it looks like a German Shepherd sitting in my lap.
Jesus
I've
Christ.
told you about that before.
But it's been chilly, so it doesn't get... I would have thought the warmth rises.
Yeah, but I've got some radiators up here and there's some boxes against them, so I've had to turn them off because I'm moving boxes around.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I suppose you have to be careful
with
with
my cataloguing.
Heat and stuff with all those books. Wow. The cataloguing.
It's a temperature-controlled environment for all the books.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm
almost at 19,000. Just got almost to 19,000 today, so that's good.
Fucking hell. And also, shaking his head, not quite believing what he just heard, is our good buddy Craig Shields joining us. You will know him from his endless work, helping us out, doing the ACP Recommends. You are an absolute legend, sir. Thank you very much for joining us this week.
Yeah.
Yes. Good to be here.
Good to have you, mate. Good. A little bit of a little bit of Herjo's Adventures of Tintin in the background behind you. That's nice. Nice little background.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Are you
get my turn on, I think.
Oh yes. Oh, he's doing our job for us. It's wonderful.
Yeah, there you go.
Because this week we're going to be talking about turn-ons and turn-offs in comics, which a lot of our some of our listeners will be like, "Oh God, what's this going to be like?" It's not going to be as saucy as you think. It's literally, could be.
Oh, maybe I've got the wrong end of the stick then.
You never. That's a turn-on. But it's I think we've all got the things that we like and the things that we're like, nah, done with that.
Try not to turn into the Monotron 5000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, there's also I think because we're doing two sides of the coin.
Balanced.
Yeah, it's balanced. And
that's our fucking byword, isn't it? Balance.
Yeah. I mean, if we're honest, we're not always balanced.
No.
Because
it's moany old bastards quite a lot of the time.
Moany old bastards. Yeah, the mob.
Balanced as a one-legged man in an Oscar-kicking competition.
Depends if he can do a somersault, he'd be pretty good.
Yeah, he'd be all right.
Yeah, that's the sort of high quality content you're gonna get this week, much like you do every week on this show. As well as some, we're gonna see a wizard a little bit later on.
We're off to see him.
Off to see the wizard. Oh, we should call that as well.
I like that.
Call that.
Yeah.
Off to see the wizard. So a little bit of a jump back in time, or maybe
a shout out to encourage the teenage girls to listen to this.
Historical documentation for maybe some of our listeners who weren't necessarily around at the time. So when we're going, I remember when this was out.
This one is from 1997.
Jesus Christ! So there's going to be quite a few people
late.
like I wasn't born then.
Will be, won't there?
And then I die a little inside.
9-year-olds.
What is this thing at the moment? Like, do you remember 2016? Where did that come from?
Well, no,
because we didn't have one in 2025, did we? People have been going online and going, "Oh, here's pictures of me in 2016." Because it's been 10 years. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You didn't know that? Wow,
no,
you guys are online more than I am. How do I know that?
Yeah, but we only look at dodgy fucking reels.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
I've seen stuff that says, they talk about the 1980s. It said, "Did your parents really let you out all day, and they didn't see you all day, and you came back in the evening?" So it doesn't seem real.
For weeks.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah, that's kind of happened.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when people hear those stories, they probably think that kids just go off on their own and just disappear for days. I was with friends.
Yeah.
Really, I had friends. I honestly, I had friends. I did,
Oh, Brother Lawrence.
That's a different story.
It's me.
But anyway, so we're going to be talking. See, we're already getting off off piste already, and we got to the topic.
Yeah.
But before we get to the topic, there's one thing I wanted to ask you guys and to talk about.
Surprise!
This possibly could be part of the larger conversation that we're going to talk about this week. But I was watching the latest series. Well, I said I was watching. My partner has been watching the latest series of The Night Manager, which she's a big fan of. And there was a scene, a classic scene of protagonist and antagonist. Hero villain sat down and just talking. I don't know why I love those sort of scenes. Like De Niro, Pacino in Heat. That just there's all this shit kicking off, but when they have that moment of like sat down, and for me, that's some of the best dialogue moments that I've seen in things. And I was trying to think, has there been any big moments like that in comics where they just slow everything down, and so you can concentrate on a conversation between two major characters, and just sat down and have
who are enemies?
Yeah. But have a civilized conversation. None of this sort of like, oh, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to do this. Because I think it's such a, when you're watching something like live action, or it's such a powerful thing you can do in shows. If it's got to be written well, because it's all about the writing.
Yeah.
But do you think you could get away with that? I mean, you can get away with anything in comics. But do you, comics as a medium, and we've talked many times about like, there's too much talking. They're just sat down doing nothing. Does a scene like that, is that possible?
Well, you've got stuff like, recall Peter David would do stuff where he would have two people doing that, but they would usually be engaged in fighting, but they'd be having a discussion about what they were fighting for and against. So rather than just have the two sitting down discussing it, you'd be punching each other in the face and saying...
I mean, there's a history of characters talking, even though they may be adversarial in bars. I'm going to say books like Hitman, maybe. There's that yearly meet-up, isn't there, between Sabretooth and Wolverine, which normally is immediately a fight, but there have been moments where they've just been sat in a bar talking. That's
what I mean. Comics immediately, that because they've got to have the action. Do you know what I mean? They've got to be talking while they're fighting, or they talk and then they have a fight. Is it... Can we just not get away with, just a real... And you can get away with some... you can cut into the core and maybe be a little bit philosophical with what the hero-villain sort of... But just to, stop everything, sit down and talk without having a fight afterwards, without having a fight before. Would it work? I mean, I think it could.
I like that whole every year they meet and they sit down and they talk.
Yeah.
And there's there's a place they can go to where nobody fights. You know, there's a bar they go to where it's like...
I mean, just to be... just to clear this, I want to eliminate the idea of Batman visiting someone in prison. Do you know what I mean? Get that off the table.
We go to Arkham Asylum.
Yeah,
okay.
Get rid of the Hannibal Lecter. I'm talking someone genuinely having to sit down, sort of like, okay, things could kick off, but they're not going to.
I think it's happened with The Thing, isn't it? The Thing has sat down with characters and just talked with them and stuff, like the Sandman and this sort of thing. I do like that. I think if it's a celebration, I kind of warm to it a bit. If it's Christmas, for example, right, we're going to call off hostilities, we're going to sit down and we're going to have a beer. Have
Come
some
out of the
eggnog.
trenches and play football.
Yeah. It's that tradition,
so there's
isn't it?
possible fertile ground to do something like that, but it's almost having.
I'm sure it's been
the
done.
characters have to be established, though. That's the problem.
Yeah. And you've got to have the bottle to do it more than 2 pages. Do you know what I mean? To have an ongoing conversation that could be 10 pages or something like that, just 2 people talking, and it going backwards and forwards. Do you think readers would?
It has to be intelligent talking, though. It can't be that's fucking the Twitter bullshit now.
What characters would you have doing that they haven't explored that kind of...
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Go on, Craig. Who do you think?
Said...
Yeah. Who would you, if you had to have 2 characters sit next to each other at a bar and talk? It's interesting now, like we've talked about before, like villains have stopped being villains, haven't they? They've become anti-heroes to a certain extent now. Like even fucking Thanos,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know if I would particularly want it from like a superhero comic necessarily, because I don't know. Sometimes they, like you say, Thanos he is turned into a bit of an anti-hero, but not like he trying to justify it, and then you start thinking, oh yeah, I kind of agree with you, and but I don't know if I actually want. I don't know if I want that necessarily.
The thing is,
Yeah.
you go to Aldi and you come back, and Thanos is saying, "Let's kill half the people in the universe." You think, "Yeah, that's fair enough," because I've just been to Aldi and everyone, I hate everyone. You know,
Or any supermarket. Other supermarkets are available, but at any supermarket on a Sunday.
I'll tell you what's a good one is Hercules and Galactus in the Hercules Bob Layton miniseries when he drinks him under the table, and they're both. That's the famous moment when Galactus takes his helmet off because he's pissed, and they have this sort of conversation over a beer. I kind of like that one. Yeah.
But like, I don't want to see another Batman talking to the Joker kind of thing. That's been fucking done to death, right? Like,
Well, through the wall of the fucking
well,
cell
just
type
generally,
thing.
let's
Yeah.
sit down and talk it for us up.
Yeah.
Is there anything left to be fucking mined here, or
I mean, I think the closest we get to it in sort of modern comics is some of the fascinating stuff that Garth Ennis has done with the war books, where sometimes there's genuinely, or like, you know, the journalist interviewing someone. Do you know what I mean? He's almost that sort of, he's touching that sort of ground of two people having a conversation, and because it's Ennis, it's usually a fascinating conversation, and you see.
Yeah, well, it's like we said earlier, Hitman does it a lot, doesn't it? They do have a conversation, but they manage to fit in the, yeah. There's a lot. There's an opportunity to show personality in those sort of things as well.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, and I think there are some characters that you just can't do it with. I mean, for instance, you're not going to get Dredd sitting down and having an in-depth conversation.
That's true. Yeah,
someone. And I think for the same point, like a lot of people say, "Oh, I'd love to see Batman," like, you know, talking to people, but a lot of the time it's just the same. Batman's just talking.
If Batman sits there talking to someone, I massively think there's something else going on.
Yeah.
Why do you think it does work in like films like Heat then?
Yeah. I guess with Heat it's because we were waiting for those two actors, weren't we?
Yeah. But it's also that's a story that runs two parallels, doesn't it? We're following two people at the top of their game, and you're seeing both sides of it, and then they're coming together, and it's respectful warriors in a sense, isn't it? You know, it's like two samurai coming together, going just being like, look, your job is to stop me, my job is to get away with it. You know,
I think maybe because
it could only ever work once.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It could only ever work once. It couldn't work with I don't know, Iron Man and Thanos now because they've kicked off so many times with each other. They're having it now.
And a lot of comic book characters. Sorry, Dan, I didn't want to jump in between you.
That's right.
A lot of comic book characters are so built so strongly about this moral code or this moral compass. It's like a lightning rod that runs through. Like, for instance, you could say Captain America, but his moral centre is so concrete that I don't know if you've got the avenue to be subtle and flexible in that conversation, which... Do you know what I mean? I mean, it could be interesting, but it'd have to be Winter Soldier kind of Captain America rather than a Civil War Captain America, that kind of thing.
Well, it's certainly stuff like in the 80s where he kind of what the kind of government wanted and what he wanted kind of diverged, and he kind of left the role behind. So I guess like maybe that's the inflexibility of him choosing this moral path that has to sort of separate him from what his government's choosing. But
I don't mind, in the same sort of line, bit what you're talking about there, Dan, is I don't mind a courtroom drama in a comic.
As
long as there's a fight thrown in. I don't mind that. I think working through the good and the bad and the right and the wrong of things, I think is an interesting thing to throw in, like you say, Craig, not all the time, but throwing it every so often.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting sort of, when you think about stuff like this and you picture a couple of characters like one-on-one, it makes you realise sometimes how, like, emotional, especially some of the heroes are. Like, I was just trying to think in my head, what if Spider-Man sat down with Doc Ock or someone like that? And then, as I was just thinking about it then, I thought, it probably wouldn't take long before Spider-Man would react to something. He'd be emotional to it, because he's quite an emotional character, isn't he? He's got quite strong emotional responses. He doesn't feel like someone that's going to sit down and talk to them on their level, and they talk to him on their level. Do you know what I mean?
I think it would kind of work more when you kind of look at Professor X Magneto kind of relationship. When
that's
kind of
probably the closest we get to. That's a really good one.
You've got two kind of like approaches to a relatively similar thing. Maybe like we go back to the Heat analogy, where like they're both professionals working.
They could easily be on the other
flip
side of the
side.
road, I think, with
Yeah.
Heat. That's the thing I always think about that. One could be
both
a cop
got
and he'd be a good one, and the other could be a villain and he'd be a good one.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think that I think Dan, you've probably nailed the closest that we could get to it in the mainstream comics. You know,
Well, you also stuff like when you had Cap Iron Man doing Civil War, like Iron Man saying we should lock these people up with the Superhero Registration Act, and Cap's like, no.
But
they're both.
It was such an emotionally charged, like, topic and comic that both of those major heroes inevitably just came to blows, didn't they? They just eventually just blow their top, saying, "No, I'm right. No, I'm right."
This for the format of the medium, they're going to come to blows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we love it and it sells well.
You got to end in a fist fight.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, you know, because I mean, like you say, Tony, it can only work with a lot of characters that you have to be invested in.
Yeah.
You know,
And they have to be on a certain level with each other to be able to do it. I think you couldn't have Superman sit at a bar with Grundy or Bizarro or someone. You know, they have to be someone who is capable of having that conversation and on the same level as the other character.
Exactly, and it's like you could say, "Oh, Superman, Lex Luthor," but Lex Luthor.
I wouldn't mind that so much. I think there's a lot of mind games at play.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that's more like Lex Luthor trying to be superior rather than
you try and read into it. Yeah.
Whereas, like, I think Heat works because they are both morally flexible, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time,
they agree.
They do, but they've both got principles, right? You could, like you say, at any point, if one switch in their life went the other way, they could be on opposite ends, couldn't they? And what characters have we got that are close to that in comics? That are
the only ones I can think of: Daredevil, Punisher. Could they sit down and have a?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind that, and they do, but normally someone's chained to a fucking chimney or something.
Yeah, last thing is there's normally something like that, but could there be a genuine pause
Which
in their violence?
From when like Punisher's got Daredevil chained up and he's got a revolver with one shot on it, and Punisher's like, "I'm going to be sniping this bloke. If you want to stop me, you're going to have to shoot me."
Yeah.
Well, the Punisher the Punisher Daredevil series at the moment is really good.
Is it?
Okay.
Palmiotti, I think it is. Yeah, it's a really good series. Yeah, they do a bit of that in that. Yeah.
Is this the continuation of like trying to get Frank back into because Palmiotti sort of
it was with the first three
books.
books that hit. I think it's Palmiotti. Is it Duggan? I can't remember. They share. But all three of them. I'm enjoying all three of them. One's about to go. We're about to get an ongoing off them now, off the back of it, which I'm glad of. It needs to be an ongoing. I mean, that'll be volume 20 of Punisher. So please let it run for more than a year.
It was a good corporate decision to try and estrange one of your most popular characters
that's on television at the time.
To appease an audience that never read him anyway.
Yeah.
I think one thing about this particular scenario that we haven't touched on is usually these conversations come about when the big thing is about to happen. On the precipice, you know, the bank job is about, if we keep going back to Heat, but the bank job is about to happen. And it's almost like the night before, the two people get together and like, they say, this is going to happen. I'm going to stop you. You are welcome to try, but I will put you down.
It's such a fake dynamic, but it does work.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing is, I don't know, why didn't he just arrest him in the fucking cafe? There was this sort of, I don't know, the whole
thing that he wanted to catch him in the act because then he would have him banged to rights. Whereas if they'd done him beforehand, it was like they're not sure be able to get it to stick. But you're right, it is a dynamic.
But then again, he would have stopped a lot of people fucking dying if he'd have done it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. But we did get an awesome fucking.
Yeah, but we got an awesome shootout, didn't we?
Yeah,
a nice little fact with Val Kilmer with the gunfight. Like they show his reloading in gun training classes to say like, this is fucking how you do it. This is spot on, and this is an actor doing it, not a trained.
Yeah,
the way he does it is absolutely
so fucking.
Yeah, I've seen that little video. Yeah, it's really really impressive. The other thing is that apparently De Niro and Pacino took the piss out of him so much for being Batman. That's the reason he didn't take up the role for another movie.
Really?
Blimey.
Why? Okay.
No.
That's rich. One of them was in
Jealous, aren't
fucking Dick Tracy.
Seeing the shit that De Niro makes now.
Yeah. Fucking De Niro was doing that. What was that one with Jack and Jill with fucking Adam Sandler?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah.
God, Jesus.
Bad Grandpa, Robert De Niro. I mean, that could go on.
Yeah. Oh dear. But it's fascinating. It would be interesting. Let us know what you think. If you've experienced any of these sort of scenes, listeners, that we're talking about, or something like it. I don't think comics has ever done the thing that we're necessarily talking about, but there's certainly interesting.
Please don't go and do a whole comic like this.
No. Please don't. Please don't.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do it, it's probably going to be about issue 60 when you've built up your.
Yeah.
There's
some writers I can feel who would do it. I've been reading a lot of Peter David recently, and I think he'd be good at it.
Yeah. What about Kirkman? Do you think Kirkman could do it with a couple of his protagonists? I mean,
I kind of feel like he's a bit too electrically dynamic and business. There's more fighting and action in a Kirkman book. I don't know whether he has that ability to slow down for a whole issue without someone punching a hole in someone else's face. I don't know, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think that's kind of what I expect from him a little bit.
Fighting whilst talking about stuff.
Yeah,
if he did, usually the comic way, isn't it?
I don't know if he did. What's that one we like at the moment? He's doing
Battle Beast.
If he did Battle Beast, where they just met in a bar and talked, I'd think I was cheated a bit for an issue.
Man, there's no way that character would do that.
Yeah, you don't want to waste Otley on an issue of that, do you?
Yeah. Incidentally, if you've got any early issues of Invincible, fucking check them out on eBay, as we have been today. Some fucking up until issue 20, there's some pricey books there. Yeah.
I kept on trying to pull the fucking trigger and get in issue 1, and every time I looked, it was like, oh, it's fucking a lot of money.
Even issue 2 is like $300.
It's one of those things that it's never going to get cheaper. So why didn't I buy it like 2 years ago?
I know, we like that, aren't we?
Yeah. I'll wait a bit till it's more expensive. That's a good idea.
How many issues have you got, Dan, of that run?
I was saying, Tony, I've got all of them apart from like a few in the 1s to 10s that I don't. Most of them I've got.
Even up to 20. I mean, I should that issue 14 now. It was 250 quid or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
My wife has never listened to this. She'd be like, why don't you sell them then?
She's never listened to the show anyway.
Oh, I'll tell you what we must mention that we forgot earlier is it's a year to the day that we did the 500th.
Yes. I thought about that today. Wow. So much has happened, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That was a fucking night of a lot of drinking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A weekend of a lot of drinking. I remember walking to the train station the following day. It was our walk with you, Vince, wasn't it? And we're like fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
I just could barely walk. Sorry, Craig, I let you down there. You're shaking your head.
But the thing about it was, it's not necessarily because we were wasted. It's because we're old.
I know. Yeah. So speak for yourself.
That's the truth.
Yeah, Tony's actually getting younger. I'm
almost 60. I'm going to fucking die soon.
Yeah, he's like Mork from Mork and Mindy.
Well, I live in an egg.
Yeah, you live in an egg. Nanu.
Does nanu a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of things that turn us on.
Just for a kid.
Never mind Tony in an egg.
I guarantee at least one listener will be cracking one off because I'm thinking of me in an egg.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about doing a bit of fan art, but
having a Tommy Tank over me in an egg.
I would rather have them send in fan art than send in.
What, of them wanking in an egg?
Yeah. Why are they wanking in an egg?
I don't know. Okay, on an egg.
I don't know where this bit came from, but
No. But does it turn you on? Well. What a segue.
This is like Derek and Clive, isn't it? Everything turns me on, cracks in the pavement. Jesus on the cross. It's like that.
Anyway, from that interesting topic, of course, let us know what you think, listeners. Email us or let us know on social media. All the links will be at the end of the show. So you have to listen to the rest of this nonsense to know where to contact us. But this week, we're talking about turn-ons and turn-offs in comics. What are the things we like seeing? What will get us buzzed about potentially picking up an issue? And what are the things that you see when you just think, no, I'm out. No, I don't want any more of this. Do you think it's one of those you've always not liked it, or have you just had too much? Do you think there's some of the picks that you've got, are some of them there's just been too much of it and you just don't want it anymore, rather than just being something that you don't want in comics?
One of mine is something that's frustrated me more and more, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
mine's a sin that I've committed.
Wow. Okay. Wow. This is going to be sexy.
But learned better of.
Oh. Okay.
With comics.
I'm very interested. Dan's face on the video now. I'm not quite sure where this is going to go, but I am intrigued.
Going to get dark and dirty.
Fine.
So, and Tony, set us up. Yeah. How many have we got for this? How are we going to run this down?
We're just going to do one each. I've got a worthy mention on each. So we're going to, I guess we'll go to Craig first for, should we start with turn-ons?
Or
sure.
Do we start with the positive then end with the negative, or do we do it the other way round?
Oh, interesting.
Let's finish on a high. Let's start with the turn-offs.
Okay, let's start with the turn-offs.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. If anyone says Jane McDonald, I'm coming through the fucking screen at you.
Yeah.
So, I have an absolute appalling and shocking shit memory, right? I have, as my wife can attest to, right? And I am more of a one and done man when it comes to books, right? And I kind of have just like, not hard and fast rule, obviously, there are exceptions for everything, but my heart sinks a little if I go into the shop, like the look at something, pick it up, and there is a 6, 10, 12 book run. My heart sinks a little because I think, oh, now it's just a big commitment now. And honestly, and that is just me, personal preference, right? Because I am shit. and I don't want this huge commitment to get a payoff in the end. I would like one and done books, or can be easily like wrapped up in 2-3 books. And I think there's loads now where you go in and you can't just take a book and it's got a story. It might have a through line, through to other volumes and things, but you can't just get like a contained one story and then you're all done.
I often think with a 12-issue run, you know you're going to get padding in the middle of that, don't you, sometimes?
Yeah, and not just like issues, but actual volumes as well. You end up, I just want to pick a book up, enjoy it, put it down, move on, because I've got so many books on my shelf that are part of a series that I've never finished because I've just completely forgot about, or it's come out a year, 18 months later, and I've just not gone back to it.
So if
delays in publishing is a real one of mine as well.
But if it's like a 6-issue series that was just like a mini series and it was done, so the trade paperback is one book.
I'll just get the trade paperback, read it. That's my wheelhouse stuff.
Yeah. So
that's your happy place.
You get the whole thing, but it's still in one.
Yeah,
one time.
One.
No, I get that. Like sometimes there is the. It goes on too long sometimes. And
yeah. I mean,
it does become like an obligation, a little bit of an obligation.
And you never want that. As soon as it feels like, I mean, it's the same with, you can have like a TV show or perhaps like a novel series. I mean, there's probably a lot of listeners out there like, God, that 4th book was a fucking slog, and that of like this 8-book series, or how many TV shows are like, bloody hell, the 4th season's really slow. But I'm invested now, so I have to keep. And it's like no.
It's a false thing that I find that false.
If it's not working for you, it's just not working for you anymore. There's no shame in cutting it, is there? But I do think comics do have that is that, and Tony's a wonderful. Sorry to throw you under the bus for this, Tony. You're a perfect example of this. For instance, if you take the X-Men, you're still there because it's going to come. In that. Eventually, it will come back around, sort of phase. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that may not behave. He's going to say this, but there is
this
that.
Is like a pressure point with Tony.
Yeah.
I
know, but that. I mean, maybe not the X-Men. That was a bit. Sorry, that was a bit.
Absolutely, and I wrote about it this week.
Yeah,
I wrote about it this week. For the X-Men, for me, as I revealed earlier, I'm almost 60. It's 55 years of reading the X-Men, man, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they're like friends of mine, but who've just disappeared now. But I just can't quit them.
It's
like an abusive girlfriend.
I mean, we know probably nothing about this, but it's no different to following a football team. You know, I've been following this team for all my life. They've been terrible, but they're going to come good at some point. It's gonna...
so I'm waiting. And they do every so often with the X-Men. It's rarer these days, but they did look at what Hickman did, and we're like, yes, come on. And then that fell away, and then we got this shite from Gail Simone, unbelievable nonsense.
Yeah,
that's written for 12-year-old girls who are just not the audience for fucking the X-Men.
And I guess you, Craig, for a reader like you hear about stuff like that, and there's nothing inviting you to try these things, is it? Because it's just
where do I start? Where do I even start?
Yeah,
I think that's where the absolute Batman stuff does well, because as issue 1, there you go. It's
absolutely. That's totally absolute. Batman is totally why it's so popular.
Yeah.
I was having a chat with someone at work, literally, who's hasn't read Batman for 30 years, and so I'd just be frightened to jump in. I said, well, that's why the absolute books are doing so well. You can just jump in. Yeah. But even they're going to find themselves lost. I mean, they're into year 2 now, aren't they? We're going to start getting. We've already started getting the crossovers, and you have to buy Wonder Woman now to keep up with the Batman.
They'll have the Ultimate problem. I mean, I remember, and it boggled my mind at the time.
They've just had it again.
When the Ultimate line in Marvel was so massive, and it was like, well, they're the biggest selling Marvel books. No one cares about the normal ones. I was like, how can that be? The Marvel, it's not going to stay. I almost knew then it's not going to stay like that all the time. It's the hotness, but eventually people will go back.
But the problem is you got to keep doing it then.
Yeah,
that's the problem. You got to do it every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to say you just got to sort of start from scratch again. And there's a lot of us, who've invested in. To be fair, with Marvel, if they got the right teams, I'd want them to do it now. But I don't think they'd get the right teams.
Yeah.
But I'm invested in that continuity now. I can tell you, what happened in X-Men 213, and I can tell you what happened in X-Men 137, and this sort of thing. It's just, it's just a weird dynamic that's we're all part of creating. They're all part of creating. That's gone on, and we're kind of stuck down a algorithmic hole with it now, aren't we? Yeah. We've been kettled around it, and it's just how do we get out of it? That's the problem. But we need the right talent to get out of it.
Yeah, but Craig, to your sort of point though, is the world of independent books and small press books, but the lines of Fantagraphics and these people who basically are making their bones mostly on one and dones, or is that more in your wheelhouse then? You sort of look to these books.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely like that, and even stuff from the likes of Kurt. Didn't Kurtman do? Was it Thief of Thieves?
Yeah.
Was it Thief of Thieves? They are just, they've got a through line throughout, but I could go and pick up any volume and it would be a contained story.
Right.
And I'll be able to follow it. Or any of the criminal stuff by Brubaker and Phillips, stuff like that. You can
the
easily
Reckless
pick
books.
them up, and put them down. Even as far Tintin books, stuff like that. I just think everything, not just comics, but everything is like a series. Or
it's involved just to get you hooked, isn't it? It's the problem. Yeah. Remember a mate of mine giving me, I gave him a book, was it Moon 44? I can't remember the name of it now. Well, he was stuck in a car. I had to run to get something from an office. And I said, I'll read this. And I gave him issue 1 of this series. And he went, where's issue 2? I'm like, well, they've got you hooked, haven't they? That's what they've done.
Yeah.
It's just how it works. They're not doing it very well these days. That's the problem.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to? That's a good. We've started off with a strong one there.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
And I think there's many people who will agree with you, Craig. And I'm very much the same. Certainly when it comes to big titles, I just don't. A common complaint is I don't know where to start. And the secret sources, you don't have to start with them. You can start with someone else who's doing a one.
So with comics, I always compare what comics used to be with what soap operas are.
Yeah.
Is you're not going to go back and watch the first episode of Coronation Street, are you?
Yeah.
You should be able to jump into the Avengers and think, oh, this is fucking good. I like this. Who's that? Who's this? Yeah,
you can get what clips you can. We're in the age of information now, where on the net you can fucking find out anything you want about any comic pretty much ever produced. And the idea of being out the loop because you don't know is almost like a point of shame, I'd say. If you
I think also there's the element that people think they know everything about, say, Nova because they've read it on his Wikipedia page and on a forum.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't read it. They don't know it.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's not out there.
Yeah.
The prime example of that is the Jem'Hadar that's in the recent, Star Trek series. They've seen a cool alien and they thought, oh, that's good. And then they didn't realise that they're all males. So they've had to add this thing where, this is, there's been genetic tampering or something.
But
like,
why?
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of like that has to be backwritten just because.
Yeah.
Why? It's like it's almost lazy. It's very frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who wants to jump in with the next one?
I might go last on this one if you don't mind.
Okay.
I can go if you want.
Dan.
Go on, Andy.
Mine's wall of text pages,
Right.
which includes long exposition, lore dump straight off the rip, and narration talking about the world we're in before we even give a shit about it.
Yeah.
Or even established. I've done it in comics. I've kind of there's better ways of doing it.
Me too.
I think.
I've done it.
I think it's something that everyone's done. Overwritten something. Certainly at the start of their
Show don't tell.
Yeah, the start of the comics
massively.
journey, especially if you're writing. I think, and we've talked about like the overwriting of comics, and everyone falls into it. You have to learn to cut that fat, don't you, Dan? When it comes to
Yeah, you got to find the kind of happy medium between showing and telling.
Yeah.
Like, if you wanted to show like the fool of like a Mad Max style fool of the world, you have to do that really quickly. Like, because the space and how many pages you got is such a premium. It's like if you've got like a 21-page comic, do you want to spend 3 of that setting up the world before the fucking story's even?
I'm very much of like, if I'm reading a comic, I'll find out what's happened. If
Yeah.
I'm dumped into a post-apocalyptic world with a man driving a car across it, I'm in it, and then I fully expect I may not even find out why it's like that. I may find out going along. It doesn't have to be page one text. It can be worked into the story.
Just enough, to get you kind of like, I understand where I'm. Also, kind of the media literacy now. When we first kind of like, you might have watched Mad Max 2 and it's talking about like the lack of oil and the way the world fell. That's more of a novel concept at the time. But now if we see someone kind of like blasting across the desert in a black V8, it's like, oh, I get this. I know what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But yeah, like little key details you drop in, like in the first couple of pages of the way the character interacts with the world, should be telling you more about the world than trying to fucking lore dump or have someone sit you down and then talk to you about, oh, this is the way the world is because of blah 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 blah.
There's other ways of doing it. Drop a map in. There's loads of ways to do it. It doesn't have to be a wall of text. And honestly, if we get a small press comic through and it's got 2 pages of text about this is the world and Dragon Lord this and fucking Lord of the Keep, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, I won't remember any of these names. I'm skimming it. I'm going to the story.
You have to be really. I mean, if you're going to kind of do that stuff, I've seen it done where it's got great presentation and like it looks. If it's just kind of like a blank, almost a blank page with like text on it, I'm kind of like, okay, this is what we've got, but there's better ways.
Trusting the reader. You got to trust the reader.
Yeah, this kind of doubles up with my positive. So I've got the flip side of the coin for that point.
Yeah, I mean,
do you want to do yours now, Vince?
Yeah, I mean, just to previously, I immediately thought of like an example of like how that can be done well. Do you remember Our Bones Dust by Ben Stenbeck?
Yeah.
Remember that one? I remember just really loving that book, and that was a whole world that was built up, this post-apocalyptic type world. And I remember he doesn't force feed, he doesn't drop it into you. He's just sort of like, there's just little bits of information, dialogue from this alien that's sort of wandering around.
Didn't need an intro for that.
Yeah,
you're in.
I mean, it's a strange, unique, original world, but because the tropes are, we know what the tropes are. He doesn't need to talk about, the apocalyptic, the water.
No, but you don't know if you're dropped into a magical world. If you're dropped into a post-apocalyptic, a mech world, you don't need to know about it. You need to know about the story that's going on.
Yeah, yeah. It's all about character, isn't it? If you haven't got character, you ain't got writing. There's a lot to be said where there's like a classic story. You should be able to tell the bank robbery story in space, the bank robbery story in fantasy, the bank robbery story in a horror book. Do you know what I mean? There's that, the core story, it can work in everything because it's got that thing that you you know. And I don't think you need to say, well, the world was blah blah blah. You know, you don't have to have the Conan voiceover, do you, at the beginning of the book?
I worked on a comic. It's free to my patrons if you want to read it. Called Suited and Booted, drawn by me and done by John Late.
Yeah, I remember that.
The first issue is overly explained, and I think we got called out on it. And looking back at it, I totally agree. Like, we kind of spend the first part of the story telling so much of the backstory. It's like, man, we could have fucking cut this by a third easy and just fucking go straight into the story. But we're both younger creators and we're both finding our feet. So
yeah,
you know, it's one of those things.
I mean, it'll happen to everyone, I think. Right, so my turn off. This is more definitely, rather than about like comics as an art form, this is more a personal sort of like, you know, for me, and it's very much focused on the artistic side of things, or the visual side of things, and I'm going to deal with covers here. And this is something I've come to realize over the past couple of years, when I look at the new releases and stuff. When you have a series and issue 1 has like the hero front and center, you know, flying towards the reader or standing atop, you know, looking triumphant. Brilliant. Love that. If you issue 7 and your hero is just flying towards the reader, I'm never going to pick it up. I'm so
Alex Ross.
I'm so fucking tired. The Marvel books are fucking awful for this at the moment.
The Batman books are bad for it, man.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It's just, you know, because I can see the cogs working. I can see, like, we need to have the main hero just on the cover because that's what will sell the book. It's like, no, I want story. I want something happening. It's got to be something. It looks so bland, so boring. It looks like it's one of the reasons that I've never really been a fan of variant covers. You know, a variant cover for me is a really cool pin-up in the collection. That's what it is for me, because I'm not someone who buys variant covers necessarily. So when you have like I know Dynamite do a lot, don't they? Those sort. I'm like,
I think the phrase is they do too many. I believe is the phrase.
Yeah. I'm not interested in any of that because they're just
well, not the cosplay variants. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Remember the cat variants they did? One cover. Was it Marvel that did that?
Yeah.
But these generic, lifeless, and the art could be great. I'm not slagging off artists because some of these one and done images are great, but Storm issue 8. And it's just a picture of Storm. It's like, well, what the fucking hell is the book about? Why should I care about any of this?
Yeah,
I think because they keep a lot in. You know, they don't necessarily apply a cover to the story anymore.
No,
because they've got a load of Alex Ross covers, and they'll just, you know, I'm massive. In fact, my one's covers coming up in a minute, but it's a different jazz to that one. My favourite.
You might get employed to do a cover for Spawn, and they don't know the script, and it's just like. Spawn cover.
They're all comics. There's a lot of comics are bad like that. Some of them are coming back round. The Superman ones are, outside of the variants seem to be coming back round to being quite good for story.
Okay.
There's some. I think they're coming round a little bit. There tends to be more specific. Some of them I don't mind. For example, have you seen that new Martian Manhunter cover that came out this week?
Oh yeah.
Fucking hell, that is a good cover.
That's really nice. I mean, that whole Martian Manhunter.
Is that the absolute one or is it a normal?
Absolute one, yeah.
It's got such a visual identity, like that.
Is that Riley Rossman? Is that Riley Rossman?
The cover is. Who's your favourite cover artist, Vince? I always forget his name. We met him at Thought Bubble.
Dave Johnson.
Dave Johnson cover. Wait till you see it, man. It's on the Slack.
Really?
Go and have a look. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Have you seen that, Craig? Are you reading that?
I'm just looking at it now.
A very sort of style. Got that sort of 50s alien invasion kind of thing going.
If you got a,
right.
But like for instance, people will possibly say, "Oh, well, a Dave Johnson cover." You know, like a lot of some of his classic Punisher ones. People could argue, yeah, but there's not really anything going on with the story there. But
I'd say there are.
But visually, he's always doing something that is usually to do with what's going on in the book.
Red Sun, was it Red Sun, the Superman thing? There was with that as well. There were story elements in those
his
pages.
Get Fury covers, graphical, fucking marvellous Get Fury covers. Do you know what I mean? Doing something with it.
I think you got to switch up cover artists and stuff every so often, because I think I love Hellboy, but you know, I couldn't tell you one Magnolia cover from the other a lot of the time. and I love Magnola. I just think you kind of got to switch it up a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
You know.
There's
Can't really go wrong by putting a half-naked woman on the front either.
Yeah, I think so. Or just fully naked. I think.
Don't
I'm
shoot
going
the
for-
messenger, but like spitting raw facts there.
Or men. You know, want to put a naked man on the cover.
Well, most men, usually superheroes on front covers do have quite a lot of undress that's about them, and you just see like muscles and all their tops ripped or something.
They're basically naked with paint on them, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just
Thank God.
yeah. So that's just a personal bugbear, you know.
That's fine, man.
Perhaps,
understandable.
yeah, perhaps, you know, like you say, Tony, you know, if people were veering away from that, then thank the Lord.
I was going to talk out my arse and saying a lot of the covers that stand the test of time is the ones that have story elements, but that's not true. There's loads of covers that.
I think, yeah, I know what you mean, Dan. There's a lot of covers that we kind of forget about, but I think in the moment there's a lot of covers like that we forget about, but in the moment of that issue, they are fundamentally important to it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? They are fantastic for that issue because
the one I see it come much a lot recently, maybe it's because I've seen it once. It just keeps, you know, like you notice, like it keeps popping out.
Yeah.
Is that Jim Lee X-Men cover when it's got Cap, Black Widow, and Wolverine, all three of them.
I mean, personally, like
I've seen that everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of my favourite covers of all time. But that was because I had the issue when that came out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that was like, this is fucking amazing. That story is one of my favourite.
But that does tell a story, doesn't it? It tells a story that the three of them are getting together. But you're right, Dan. It's being overused massively.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
What about Dark Knight? That's literally just him in front of a.
People,
but it's such a cool fucking image that you're like,
yeah,
that's never been homaged.
Never, no one would touch it. Right then, Tony, what's your one then? Because mine was a little bit about covers, and you said you wanted yours was something.
Yeah, well, mine isn't specifically about comics as is. Mine is about comics PR,
right?
And the terrible desperation that we seem to see about it at the moment. And I'm going to use this. Let's imagine an imaginary situation. Okay.
Okay.
So someone has followed the podcast on, let's choose it just a different place. Let's say Instagram. Yeah. And I see that we get a notification, new follower. So I look at it and I see it and I have a quick look at the person's account just to make sure they're not, I don't know, a OnlyFans girl or something. And I see they've got very few followers and they've also started a podcast and they're doing a Kickstarter. Right. And do you know what I say to myself?
See where this is going.
Yeah. In the next hour, we'll get I think I'd be a good take for your show. Right? I'd be a good guest for your show. All right. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Message.
Ping.
So I ping on the message and it says, hello, I've got a podcast and I'm doing a comic and I think I'll be a great fit for your show. Right. So I say, I'm polite. I said, oh, interesting. Why do you think you'll be a good fit for our show? You're a listener. And guess what they say? No, I'm not a listener.
Yeah.
I've never listened. But I see that we've got some mutual follows, and I see you're all about comics community like I am, and I'm thinking you've got like 3 followers. So I think I'd be great to come on the show. And I've replied, and obviously to promote your Kickstarter. And I just think there's this sort of shameless, fucking relentless smell of desperation PR in comics at the moment. Sadly, a lot of it, because they don't have the big business and the big money to do it is in the small press and the indie scene. And I just it's exhausting. There's ways to do it, man. I know a lot of people are perhaps not used to having actual human conversations, but just strike up, at least listen to an episode.
Yeah. You've got an email address, you can say, I've done this comic. Do you guys want to check it out? And then
we do weekly.
@gmail.com.
Yeah. We do it, and I'm about to do one. We do it weekly.
And there's been people that have been on this, like canonically. That's word of the week. We seek out the guests and stuff. We go forth and we're like, the stuff that we're interested in. But we've had comics sent in, and we've read them, and then we've liked them, and we want to speak to the creator about it.
Yeah.
I will tell you, probably 100% of the time, that creator has not sent that comic and give us a raft of PR stuff. They've just been like, oh, here's my comic. I really enjoy this show. They'll usually mention something about the show, so we know that they've actually listened. It's like, here's my latest comic. I hope you enjoy it. They never fucking ask for something, and we're the ones that eventually go to them and say, by the way, we loved your book. Can we? When do you want to hop on?
And I think
this message is for will not be hearing this.
Sadly, they won't be.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
The thing is, as well, is also canonically, we try not to have people who are the combination of new to us and have a Kickstarter on the go, because we've been bitten on the arse before by having people who are running a Kickstarter and we've never heard from before, haven't mentioned the podcast.
Yeah.
It's a one-way street. La 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 la. You know, nearly everyone that we have on the show is absolutely lovely. And we enjoy their company, and we're always interested in having them back, and we'll promote anything they do going forward.
Talk about the craft and like get their book out really good to people who might want to enjoy it, and not just to sort of like dump the book and then fuck off.
Yeah, sorry, Craig, you can say me.
No, I remember you guys mentioning this ages ago. Exactly the same thing, whereby no one's actually putting the effort in, right? Are these people actually backing other Kickstarters, you know, in the community? Are they going to the cons? Are they putting the work in, or are they just expecting, right, I've got a Kickstarter, let's go and shamelessly promote?
Always a bit dubious about backing a Kickstarter if the creator hasn't backed other books. It's always a bit like I've done it where they've set up a studio, like a brand, like we did TBH Comics, and as when we all creators, we back on our own personal accounts, and that one doesn't. But when they're like, oh, this is my first comic and stuff, and I've read comics for ages, it's like, we haven't backed a single Kickstarter, but like, you're launching this 15 grand book. It's like,
I
trust you on that.
I just think there's a lot of TED Talks out there and like sales talks, and people think that, you know, you've always got to be selling and you've always got to be fucking doing all this sort of thing. I always think that one of the masters of this is Green Archer, who, like, they do a YouTube show talking about other people's comics. You know, they're always helping promote other people's comics. They're part of the conversation. We're happy to have them on if they've got one going, you know, because they're just nice people. I think it's the whiff of desperation, I suppose, is the main sentence at the top of this verbal essay.
If there's an ulterior motive to whatever someone's doing, if they're kind of like, are you doing this just to get more eyes on your stuff as opposed to?
I don't know if you've seen it. Maybe you don't look at the hidden messages on our Instagram, but it's full of people saying there's this thing going around. If you see it about, I'm a comic artist. I'd really be interested in joining in with your comic and helping create your characters and stuff. I'm thinking, what are you talking about? We're a podcast about comics. We're not. You know, what are you talking about? If I can try listening, there's just a lot of grifting and a lot of shameless bollocks out there. And,
I get fucking
and it gets me down, man.
DMs. I get loads of DMs of people like saying, "Oh, do you want to? I can do this for you." Don't.
I guarantee with Tribute, if we put a Kickstarter out, people won't reply about the Kickstarter we're doing. They'll pitch us stories, and I've had people pitch stories and say, "Well, how on earth do you think this has got anything to do with what Tribute's doing?" They've just seen. They think we're a publisher with loads of money, and they're just pitching us stories. They don't even back the book. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah,
it's so strange, right? Understandable.
There's a lot of people out there who are neurodivergent and divergent and all this sort of thing, and I can imagine that, you know, social niceties aren't. But just learn from a few examples. Just look to see how the better people are doing it, and you'll get a much better response. Or the old, I would say, just be yourself, man, and be friendly, and we will react in kind. Yeah. That's just a big podcast moment.
No,
But I've always had it. I've had it when I was reviewing before this podcast and stuff like that. You just get it all the time. Yeah.
It's very much like the hard sell, isn't it? You know,
it is. Yeah,
it extends to like the conventions, isn't it? Like, you know,
reviewing is work.
The etiquette,
to do a proper review.
It's not a short amount of time we spend preparing this podcast,
and also just, you know, reading comics is time of your day that you're not doing something that, you know, something else.
There's a comic later. I think all three of us have read, and I think I'm going to talk about it. And Vince is going to join in, and it was just a joy to read, man. It was just the creator just sent it to us and said, "Hope you enjoy this, guys. You know, we're friends. You know, it's just nice, and it's just that's exactly how I want it to be in the small press world."
But absolutely no ulterior motive to be like, "Oh, they'll talk about this." Do you know what I mean?
Not even mention. Could you review it on the show? Nothing like that.
No.
Yeah. There you go.
It's ironic, isn't it? They don't mention it and they get mentioned.
I know. I had one. My other favourite is people who send in a book to be reviewed, and so I review it, and they go, "I didn't expect that." I said, "Well, don't ask for it to be reviewed then." Or if they say, "Oh, well, this is a new comic we've got out. We'd love you to have the writer on," and so I review the comic, and they say, "Oh, we didn't expect to review." I said, "Why do you fucking send me it then?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When an email says for review.
Yeah.
It's a weird landscape at the moment. I'll be honest with you. It's a very strange landscape of comics
because there's so much noise out there. People are just email blasting. You know, they got their PR and they're just trying to get. I mean, you can. It's one of those. Oh, I appreciate the hustle, but you're falling on deaf ears in this particular camp.
Yeah,
it's very hard.
I'll tell you, who does it well is the guy from Zoop, and he's not everything falls into our lap and we want to crack on with, but he's just a nice guy.
Yeah,
and do you know what I mean? He's just a top
Living the
guy
Line as well. They're fucking doing great.
Oh, massively.
Whenever something comes through from Living the Line, I see a post or an email. I'm like, I'm on this. Read it.
Yeah.
And it's an email directed at us, not like just had our name added to it.
but it goes to it's not just sending out emails, it's cultivating relationships. Relationships seems like a big word, but you know, it is that sort of like
I've had this very conversation with 11 O'Clock Comics, man. Exactly what you say there.
Yeah,
it really is.
It is. You know, I mean, I know we talk on the weekly and like we have listeners and stuff, but we're still people. We're not a corporation. We're still big people. We don't
do this for free.
We don't have someone working for us checking the fucking emails. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the things that we might be interested in. We check it all out. And I know what you mean, Tony. If there's a certain like, I start reading an email probably within the first.
You're worse than me though. That's the thing. I know what you're like. You're like, oh fuck me, like this.
Yeah. Press releases sometimes get me.
I know.
Because I'm like, oh right, okay. But some of the self-help meditation books we get sent quite.
I actually want one of those. You like this, Craig? We've got this lady. I don't know why we're on her list.
No.
But she send us guest recommendations. They're all like psychics, tantric sex.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. This woman's definitely fucking up for coming on.
I'm going to properly realign my chakras. and that's nothing to do with the tantric sex.
I'm going to go her.
I don't have tantric sex with Jane McDonald.
Mate, don't.
Yeah.
I'll talk about turn-ons. Here we go.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, just to finish off this one, if there's any, you know, all you lovely independent creators out there, if you do want to send your comics in, you know, we are properly open to it. It's just
absolutely.
We're not some big fucking ogres. Like I genuinely love seeing fucking stuff coming.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Because
the only problem I have is because I do most of the email ones. Is like me trying to figure out how to fucking download them.
Yeah. But
and
like,
occasionally I'd say, Dan, how'd you download this? I can't do it.
Yeah.
Can you change this into PDF format as opposed to CDR?
But I mean, I think you said it wonderfully, Dan. Like the people these sort of things that we have problems with, these people don't listen to the show. So
they'll never know, will they?
Yeah.
You ever reviewed a comic for someone and they've kicked off and not taken it well?
I've had sort of one angry email back, maybe two. Oh yeah, no, I have had one. I've had one who's like fucking decided I'm the devil and all this sort of thing because I've pointed out that it was just photographs imported into a fucking page. Couldn't possibly be his fault or the artist's fault for fucking ripping him off, which was where I was coming at from it. Yeah, I've had that. Yeah. I said to him, "This is Tilda Swinton in a comic," and then it just went off.
I try not to do kind of if I don't like a book. I probably said this before, but like just don't review it.
It's why I called it the recommendation section.
I have this thing. If I reply and say look, probably not, and they say, oh yeah, but if they keep emailing me, I'll say, if you want me to review it, I will.
Yeah.
No, we really want you to review it. We really want you to. Are you sure? Because I will cast a critical but fair eye on it. Yeah, we're sure. And then I'll review it, and they fucking never email you back.
Yeah. But also there's been those experiences where that happens, and the people are really appreciative of it.
Yeah, like Avery Hill, that time we talked about the size of lettering, and they went away and changed the size of lettering, and there's all sorts of things like that's happened. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
But yeah, positives. What turns us on?
Yeah.
This is gonna get sexy.
Okay.
And I
Greg?
can't believe this is the first time I've ever asked this question. Greg, what turns you on?
Are you Winnie the Poohing it now? Are you definitely...
in comics, just want to be clear. In comics.
Oh, God. I was racking my brains on this because I didn't think I had a particular taste or anything, but it turns out looking at the shelves, I've got a very particular taste, and it all comes down to BD style artwork. I can be turned off quite rapidly if I don't like the artwork, which is a shame because I think I'm probably missing out on some good stories, right? But the turn on, what is I don't know, original old school clear line,
sort of Bond SNA type stuff, you mean? Yeah.
This guy behind Edgar, what's his name, P. Jacobs with the Blake and Mortimer series, all of that, and adjacent, and start going to the likes of works that have been inspired by Mobius, Luke. What's the guy's name? He did The Killer as well.
Yeah, I know you mean.
Luke Jacobs? No.
Right.
Jacob, maybe, something like that. But I just love the fact, especially in clear line work, you look at it and it looks really simple. And then you look again and all the detail starts seeping out of the page. All of the world seems fully realized. You've got all adverts and everything, all the architecture, the landscapes I just find incredible. That'll instantly get me interested. And really most of the line work in Bond SNA books.
Did you read the Dry Cleaner book that I recommended earlier this year? I know you looked at it online because you stuck it on the doodah, but
no, but
I think you dig that, man.
I've got it on my list, as well as you did another one. Was it Amazonia?
Oh yeah, Leo.
Well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love his stuff, man.
All of that stuff. It just looks incredible.
Yeah.
And the works of, what are the guys' names from
Marini
Fantagraphics?
as well, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Marini, Morale, who did The Fall, Jerome, what's his face, who did Olympia. What's his name? No, I don't think so. Let me see. Have I got it knocking about? I can't remember. But so it goes from one end of the spectrum to the other, clear line and all the uniform lines. But then as you go down, you get to these scratchy lines and almost etching. And it's amazing to me how much detail you can get in, and yet everything is really clear. If you look at Mobius's stuff in Blueberry, his Mexican vistas, and they are so detailed, but you look at it, you instantly everything is clear, and it's just.
I actually prefer that to the Inkle. I prefer that style of his to the Inkle. Okay. I think.
Yeah.
I think in the Inkle it's more colour is part of it, but in Blueberry it seems to be. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely massive fan of that stuff, man. I wish it was more available. In all honesty. Yeah.
Any artwork even adjacent to that will get me going.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah, the amount of stuff from Bond SNA, you open up a book and it's this is ridiculous. Yeah.
It's just something else that's absolutely fucking redefines
I mean, even though we know it, don't we? It's just open up some of those books is a real shorthand for saying art form. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just being a comic, you look at it and go, fucking hell, this is an art form.
The ninth art, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Good work.
Yeah, there's not much you can say about that. That's a top one.
Well, have any of you guys read the? I think there was an analysis book on clear line in comics.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I'll have a look at it. Order it. It's by David Barros. He's wrote a theoretical and analytical view of clear line in comics and cinema.
Oh, okay.
I'll
look that up. Yeah. Cool.
Interesting. Dan, what's your What turns you on?
Mine's the counterpoint to the wall of text stuff, and that's the trusting the reader with sort of subtleties, not over explaining, narration telling us like we don't need narration telling us what we can see, and having panels of silence, no text, and letting the art speak. And it's you've got to be kind of top of your game, and you've got to be confident with what you're doing. We're going to be talking to Kat next week about the past, but the past is the fucking apex of this. There's massive quiet moments. There's bits where the characters reveal their kind of emotions and feelings and what they want to achieve, and don't say it explicitly. And it's so appealing because you sort of understand that the author really knows what they're doing, and they're fucking doing it.
Yeah,
aplomb. It's great.
I've done this recently where I've overwritten because I'm working with someone new, and then I've gone back in when I've finally got the art through, and I've taken so much dialogue out because it's communicated through the art.
Yeah.
That's the perfect combination, isn't it?
Yeah. It's when you get that as a writer and your artist kind of picks up, it's like, man, I don't need to say the character saying, "Oh, I'm a bit embarrassed about this," because they've drawn it. It's all over the character's face.
Yeah. There's my recommendation this week, which is the second volume of a book and a completion of a story, and I mean, it's a minor spoiler. Joshua Hixon is the artist on the book.
Oh yeah.
And that is the absolute antithesis. Well, it's what you're saying, Dan. It's the absolute. There are pages where there's no dialogue, and it's a character sort of maybe walking into panel or reacting, and they're not being. But it's subtlety. I think subtlety is a very. It's such an important thing in comics, but people don't use it as much. Do you know what I mean? They feel like they've got to overdo it in comics, but it could just be. And I love seeing a panel where someone's face had changed just because their eyes were slightly closed, just a little. Everything's the same, and that and you just notice, oh, something's going on there. Do you know what I mean? And
use the comic. That's what he's doing.
Absolutely.
That's what he's doing.
And also with that, the rhythm of a comic, the page turn. When you get that, you don't need to say so much. You can have pages without any dialogue, and yet you're telling a story, and then, bam. The punchline hits, or whatever the cliffhanger hits, and it's like, wow, you drew me into this, and you didn't say a fucking word.
It's the absolute understand, like the mastery of the craft.
Yeah,
You really got to know what you're doing.
Yeah,
Sakai does it with Usagi all the fucking time.
He does, yeah. Mazzucchelli did it with Daredevil and Batman. When Daredevil's, he's in that fetal position. There's no need for him to say anything there.
Yeah.
I think people are worried these days, especially with with modern comics, where they feel like they got to put some smart aleck fucking comment in the middle of everything. It's just it's not needed.
I mean, it's almost for me sometimes the death of investment is the narration from the protagonist's view. It can be really good, I mean, Miller's done it, Ennis has done it. There's lots of where it's worked really well, but we don't need it all the time. Do you know what I mean? They don't need to be talking all the time about, you see them jumping from roof to rooftop and having a massive conversation. It's like, no, sometimes I just need you jumping from roof to rooftop. You don't need to, so I know what you mean, Dan. That's
like the previous one, I've made this mistake where I was kind of earlier in Vanguard. There's a kind of plot point that the characters discuss, and I look back and I was like, this page, I don't need this. I didn't need this.
Yeah.
It's in there, but I didn't trust myself and my readers enough to kind of get what I was trying to explain. And looking back at it, I explained it fine. And if the reader didn't get it, there's enough afterwards for them to pick up what I'm putting. It's not that fucking complex, but I felt like I had to over-explain it, and it's because you had a bit of a wobble, thinking, are people understanding this? And you sort of lay it out a bit too much.
Second guess
It's
yourself.
where I needed an editor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, mate, we read so many comics, created so many comics. We work on instinct for a lot of this. The way things happen in a comic.
Yeah.
You know, there's obviously the academic way of looking at it, and the craft way of looking at it, but a lot of it's just instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen it so
I
many
think
times before.
that's the trouble when people ask about like how to write a comic and stuff. It's like it's really difficult because there's so much of this stuff, the language that we've all kind of learnt through reading books and understanding them, to try and just sort of like put that together in the back of a DVD
Yeah.
bit of text to sort of impart how that works is fucking. Then it can't do it.
A lot of writing comic is thinking about it beforehand. It's not about sitting in front of the typewriter.
Yeah,
It's like thinking about it for me for days about I might come up with an idea, but coming up with an idea isn't enough. Coming up with the dynamics and the jigsaw puzzle and the movement and the page turns and the moments, the beats, there's so much to it. But like you say, it's instinctual for us, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not all the time, but sometimes.
No, yeah. Sometimes it's that thing of looking out the window time. Sometimes you just need to kind of get away from it, and then like bang it.
And none of us are perfect on it, man. You know, it's like
No.
yeah. No, I'm fucking definitely not.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So man, when I see that in a book, and I'm so fucking excited to talk to Kat next week about the pass.
Yeah, you got to read it, Vince. Hurry up! I need to talk to you about
I've
it.
got to talk about it, man. Like,
I'm gonna read it. Bloody hell. Spoilers for next week's guest.
yeah, man, I was read. I'll give it a couple more reads because I was like, this is fucking such a great piece of work.
Yeah.
I've got it.
Get your copy for next week's show so we can all be up to snuff.
Yes.
I got a hard copy as well. It's landed this week.
Yeah.
And I'll be ordering one soon, without a doubt.
Been Planet, mate. It's it's cheapest.
Oh, nice. But okay, so my one is once again purely selfish. There were ones where I thought, you guys are doing such a wonderful job of talking about, the art form, the format, the language of comics, etc. And here I am just stepping in, just being pretty selfish, because I like it when this usually applies to independent comics or small press comics. If you make a comic that in any way appeals to part of what is my DNA as a human being in terms of like the nerd fan culture that I have, then I will immediately want to read your book. And by that I mean if you're talking about 80s action movies, if you're talking about fucking Saturday morning cartoons, if you do, if it's video games, those sort of things. And it's one of the reasons like Robo Wolf was just a bam. It was just a massive, okay, this is 100% sugar, fantastic artwork on a Dark Horse book, but just the whole thing and the attitude for it. I was like, almost, I can tell straight away from the cover, I'm going to love that. And just like, there's certain creators who do that really well. Who was the one that did, what was it? Did the Peacemaker comic book?
Oh,
Carl Starks.
Carl Starks is a wonderful example. Was it Kill Them All? That one that was it Kill Them All? The one about was like the action movie in the tower block and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like fucking just pump that into my veins.
Oh,
Do you know
that's
what I mean?
amazing.
Just that straight up, like I mean, like fucking Viper. It's one okay.
That's the one and done. Like you pick up an issue, it's all self-contained.
Yeah. But it's got that vibe, it's got that feeling. It's just, and I just know I'm going to get a fucking kick out of it. It's no different to renting a movie when I was a kid, getting some fucking popcorn and some soft drinks, and then I know I'm going to sit down and be entertained. I read a lot of books that are, sometimes dark themes. They can be horrific. They can be thought-provoking. They can be educational. But sometimes I just want a pizza. I want a pizza and a beer, and I just want to fucking have some fun. And like, there are a lot of great artists out there doing similar sort of things. And I mean, Edison Neo, who is fast becoming a fucking superstar, which is
got new art coming out soon.
Yeah, he's got an art, but I cannot wait for that.
Has he?
Yeah, he's working on an art book. The problem he's having at the moment, follow him on Patreon, Edison Neo. If you don't know who we're talking about,
I must have missed that.
If you don't, follow him because he's fucking amazing and he's just the nicest guy. We've had him on the show a couple of times. But he's doing an art book that's filled with like commission stuff. The problem he has is the page count is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Have you seen this, Dan?
No.
He's currently on 120 pages and he's still got shitloads left that he can put in it. So this is going to be a chunky little book. But that was a perfect one of like, back in the day when I discovered snake claws, you know, a proper kung fu comic that was just really cool. It was just, I am the sum of my parts. I am exactly what you think I'm going to be, and we're just going to have fun with it. And lo and behold, fucking loved every minute of it. Loved every fucking page. So if, you know, and I just love that. It's not like I'm asking for more comics like that. I don't want all of my comics to be like that. But when I see something like that on the shelf, I'm drawn to it. I'm literally, you know, so I took the literally the turn-ons was like, okay, what will get me to double take and lean into it? And it is, I'm a person that's pretty much, a lot of the time I say, oh, that's part of my DNA. You know, it could be, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Hero Turtles, as like when I was a kid. You know, fucking Master of the Universe, G.I. Joe. Why am I so fucking stoked about G.I. Joe at the moment? Because it was done really well, and it was a massive part of me as a kid. Do you know what I mean? And comics are so nostalgic as a medium anyway, don't we? Because we harken back to those moments.
Massive reveal in the last G.I. Joe issue.
Really?
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Really?
2 massive reveals. You're like, oh.
Really.
It's great.
There is another brief G.I. Joe mention I'm going to put in the recommends as well. But it's just stuff like that. It's like, you know, if you play the hits for me, and I'm happy. So I love discovering. But that's why I say it's more to like the indie and small press creators, because as soon as it's like there's someone who I can be friends with this person because they sing the same fucking hymn sheet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, so that was an obvious one for me. And I think, even though I've got my personal picks, I think that's pretty across the board for all of us, isn't it? If we have a style of comic that we like reading, or a genre, or, you know, for some people it could be, I love Punisher style comics, I love revenge comics, it could be something like that. You know, if you've got a thing you know, fucking, it's a winner every time.
Yeah,
you know?
man, that fucking, you can't beat that kind of enthusiasm, and
And I think it also means, I don't know if you guys have this, sometimes you can be a bit more forgiving of those books. And I mean that in a sense, if I take another sort of genre, if I'm going to sneakily put another one in there, but I've said before about the old grizzled veteran coming back for revenge or kicking ass or something like that. We've read a lot of stories like that, and they are of varying degrees of quality. But across the board, I probably just really enjoy them anyway, because I just like that story. You know what I mean? And when you like that kind of story, do you think you can be a little bit more forgiving if it falls into some pitfalls or something? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm definitely guilty of that in like movies and stuff as well. I will watch any Jason Statham shite going. Do you know what I mean? Because I know exactly what I'm getting.
Yeah.
You know, it'll say, "Oh, critics give it 2 stars." Well, it's a Jason Statham film, but it's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of good 2-star movies out there, my friend. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or anything like that. You know, loads of people were slating like the Transformers films, and you know, well, the robots fighting each other. Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Imagine if that came out in when I was a kid in the 70s. I'd be like, this is like literally magic.
Yeah.
Those Transformers movies, you know, you're like, this is actual magic on a screen. And now we're like, oh yeah, it's just a load of CGI.
Yeah.
It looks fucking amazing, let's be honest. Yeah.
I watched a dodgy film this week, but the commentary track, which I've shared with some of you.
Oh, Outlaw, was it? Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. It's hilarity. Absolutely hilarity.
Nice. You watched
Danny Dyer and Nick Lowe, they're talking to each other like they've obviously had a few beers. It's after lunchtime. And they're just like absolutely talking shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it's
don't quote any of it down.
No,
I'm
not sure.
I'll have
the
to edit
C-bomb
it
is dropped loads of times. I'm not sure if it's a bit or they're actually being real, but it's like
I've seen that Love interviewed a few times. He's like that, I think.
Yeah. So that's my one. Tony.
Okay, so I've got a worthy mention that I'm going to mention first. It's a very short thing, and then I'm going to talk about my favourite thing, one of my turn-ons.
Okay.
So the worthy mention is something that I'm looking through the camera into the world of listeners, and I can see Pete Dorey and Simon Russell agreeing with me with this. Is when I go to the comic mart and I'm in the 50p boxes, and I'm going through, and suddenly you get that little sort of light brown bit of newsprint showing at the top of the comics, and I don't bother going to any of the sheeny looking shiny fucking comics. I go straight to them. I think 60s, 70s, 80s gold, just there. that newsprint. It's gone a bit brown. I think, that's all I want. I don't bother with any of the other shite because I know it's going to be the usual bollocks, isn't it? But you just get that little bit, and it's like fucking, I don't know, ROM or something. You think, now I'm home. Anyway, that's my first one. So my other one is, this is a bit of a weird one. I don't think I've ever spoken about this, but I don't know why it gets me excited, and it is the most ridiculous thing, and it's kind of something that mainly only comics can do, is when you get on a cover of a comic, and I'm going to say why I think this is, because I've got an origin story for why I like this, is you get a silhouette of a character, and something says like new villain appearing this week, or this mystery character has returned. Now, and you just get an outline of this character. So do you talk about,
is it like an outline where there's an action scene and it's almost like they've cut that character out of the scene?
Yeah, or they're in the shadows somewhere. Yeah. And he's looking into the shadows.
And sometimes the word of who is this is actually in the shadow of the person.
You might get a little hint from the shape of a claw or something like that. And suddenly if I see that, I'm massively into looking into that comic and reading it. I don't know why, it's the most childish fucking thing, and it's something that only comics can do. But for me, I don't know why. I just love it. I love seeing that, and it grabs me. It does what comics should do. It grabs me with excitement and interest from across a fucking crowded comic shop. I'll see it, and I think, and I'll tell you who does it a lot. Spider-Man used to do it quite a lot. Yeah, I think there's the odd Spider-Man things. I'm going to say Eric Larson does it a lot with Savage Dragon. They'll be like, from arriving from outer space or arriving from the past, or you never expected to see this villain, or you never expected this to be a surprise, and there'll be like a door open and the character's looking at the reader like, oh my god, like, someone's coming in through their door or something like that. I don't know, I just really like that, and I think it's what comics should be doing. It should be getting excitement going. Like you talked earlier, Vince, about the generic bollocks we get on comics covers. It's the opposite of that. It should be the excitement for you opening that door, opening that front page, opening that cover and looking to see what's going on. And I think one of the reasons for my origin for that is back in the day when I was a little kid, Marvel UK were going to bring out their kind of first British created character when Captain Britain came out, and we didn't know it was going to be Captain Britain, but all it was a silhouette of a man, and it says coming soon, you'll never guess who it is type stuff in the adverts. And me and my mates were like, who is this? Oh my god, this is so exciting, who could it be? And it genuinely got us really excited when Captain Britain came, to the point where we were all wearing his mask in the playground. It was like that bad. And I think that's where the origin of it for me is. But I think it's just one of those. We're talking about this on the state the other day about characters standing on their own name. They'll be like fighting a villain, but they'll be actually standing on the word that is their Mysterio or something like that underneath them. And I think it's one of those things that only comics can do, and I just really love it. And it just there's also, as with everything that we ever talk about, seemingly it has a nostalgia hit about it as well. But it's that. It's the.
I think I like you say, that is a comics exclusive thing.
Got to be there, yeah. I mean, I could imagine them trying it, but it would be kitschy comics, type thing, wouldn't it? If they did do it in TV series or something. Yeah, but something like Heroes, a TV series, they did it, but it was tended to be with the artwork they threw in. Do you remember that comic artwork?
Yeah. Because I think, I've got so many. I can't picture. I can't name issues. But there's so many of them, aren't there? Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's my thing.
And I think that's the whole thing. Like doing this is sort of a joy. I think when it came to the sort of turn-offs, it's easy to talk about the things that really annoy you, isn't it? Or the things that don't grab you. But we also need to bathe in the stuff that we really like. Do you know what I mean?
We didn't get too moany.
No. I think we're a bit more constructive about it, and sometimes
try to be constructive.
Also, sometimes when it comes to those turn-offs, I mean, I said about the covers. If you like that sort of stuff, that's brilliant. That's brilliant for you. If it works for you,
you're wrong. But if you like it,
if you're not bothered by it, don't ever listen to us again. No, but you know what I mean. It's like there's the stuff that we really like may not be for everyone. And that's the whole point of it, Comics it's such a wonderful medium that everyone, the likes and dislikes are always valid. But please keep the conversation going, listeners, whether it be on the Slack or maybe with your mates in the coffee shop. I think this is an interesting one, just to sort of say, what is going to draw you to a comic every time, Maybe start with the turn-ons rather than turn-offs because it's fun.
Maybe don't use that phrase.
Yeah. Don't look to your mate and go, so what turns you on?
What's your turn about? Yeah, about comics.
Well, you can say that if you like.
Yeah.
You get HR involved, but it'd be fun.
Yeah. And yeah. So before we've got some recommendations and a few shout-outs, but before we do, should we just have a quick little trip to see the wizard?
Off to see the Wiz.
Off to see the wizard, the wonderful wizard of 1999. Wasn't that what you
No,
said it
I
was?
think it's 1997.
Jesus Christ!
I'm going to show you the cover of the wizard
30
we're
years.
talking about. You go. This is before Craig was born. Is that right, Craig? It's not, is it? Oh, fuck off! No, he's shaking his head. Yeah. Well, I've switched it up. We're not doing wizard artists and writers. We're doing wizards top 10 comics of that month.
Okay. Now, I just want to be specific about this. Is this sales or is this just what they like?
Wizard, by staying in touch with hundreds of retailers throughout the country, we keep a close eye on the country's hottest back issues. Here are May's hottest back issues.
Right.
Interesting.
We're not looking for numbers. We're just looking for series. We can't go to numbers. We'll never.
No, we're not going to go to numbers.
Did
We're going
any
to
kind of level of research into this?
There is there's one comic we've mentioned this week in here, and there's one comic we mentioned last week.
Okay.
Considering,
play along at home, listeners, while you're doing this.
Considering Preachers on the front cover, I'll go for that.
That's number 11, so it doesn't come into the top 10.
Oh, you loser!
Massive slap in the face.
Craig, any suggestions?
Spawn.
No.
Oh, that was no.
I
was going to say you
surprisingly.
bastard because that
I had to
was
check
mine.
for that one because
that was mine.
This is very image centric, by the way, guys. Or very image Dark Horse DC centric.
Is there a Hellboy?
Oh, sorry, Dan. I'm sorry, Preacher was in it. It was a different issue. So Preacher was in at 6. So Dan gets a point. My apologies, Dan.
Look at him.
Giving it a fucking big one now.
Yeah, so pleased with himself. Right, so we've got Dan with 1, Craig 0, and me. I'm going to go for I said one just a second ago. I can't remember what I said. Image centric, do you say?
Yeah, or Dark Horse or DC.
Oh, Hellboy. Is there a Hellboy in there?
There is not.
Oh, bollocks.
Okay, who was first? Was that you, Dan?
Me. I'll go Sin City.
No.
Oh.
There's a couple that are like proper OG
This is
bullshit.
Comics
image.
1997, folks. Just imagine that. Okay. What month was this as well?
It doesn't say. I don't think it matters. July 1997.
Oh, July. Okay.
There's actually one title that's twice.
I've got one.
When did Sandman come out?
You're right, but it's not. It's not on there. No, it would have been a good guess.
Oh, okay. I'm going to jump in with Amazing Spider-Man.
No, try and think more bullshit 90s comics.
Oh wow. Okay.
Team Youngblood.
No, not quite that bad. There's one Marvel as well, which is pretty awful.
There's one Marvel title in this list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it says one Marvel and 2.
God, there's loads of shit.
3
image styles that come out.
DC. One
This
of
is
these.
the top. This is the top one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, no.
Don't forget we're part of the speculator market then.
According to Wizard.
Okay.
Yeah. Who's next? I can't remember who's next.
Craig.
Craig.
I'm kind of fucking sacking
Star
out
Wars?
Sorry?
Star Wars?
No. Sadly not.
Ugh.
Okay.
No.
Let's swing for the fences. Supreme.
No. Good shout though.
here.
There's a couple of first issues in here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 first issues out of 10. Out of the 10 issues.
Bloodstrike.
No. You love one of
What kind
these.
of top
Vince.
10 list is this?
I love
One of them, the one that's double. It's got issue 1 and issue 10, and it was a short-lived TV series.
Oh, I know what it is.
Who's next?
When was,
What's that, Craig?
when was Gen 13? Was that 95?
That would have been a good shout, but
That's a good
no.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to say Witchblade.
Witchblade, well done.
Oh, yeah.
Witchblade appears twice, Vince, so you get 2 points for that.
Yeah.
So there's Witchblade 1 and Witchblade 10, the Darkness variant cover.
I tell you what, the Witchblade and the Darkness, those two series are ones that, I was a fan of back in the day. I've never wanted to go and revisit a reboot or anything. It's like, it was always like the original.
Darkness
of its
is
time.
alright.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
What's the
Witchblade was
one-
great at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, fucking...
What's the one with the bird under the water? Is it Fathom?
I tell you what, you're the poet laureate of this fucking show, aren't you?
He's the down the pub element of this.
Yeah.
isn't he? Yeah. What's the one with the
the
treacle
comment we're
underwater?
talking
Bit of
about.
treacle.
Well,
Bit of treacle, it was in
bit
swimsuit.
that bit of stuff.
Under the water. That's not derogatory.
That was a good guess. But
That's
no.
not the bird under the water.
If I said name or I said the geezer under the water,
Yeah.
that's
Fair.
Come on then. Yeah, no, it's fine then, Dan. Come on. We've got a few more. There's a couple more.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. There's another one that appears twice. Written by Grant Morrison.
Okay. Oh.
And it's a
I've
big
no
two.
idea.
It's a big 2-book. Sorry, Craig.
No clue. DC versus Marvel. Don't know.
No, good shout,
Okay,
but no.
I'm just gonna say, is it New X-Men?
No,
Animal Man.
no. There's 2 points to be grabbed if you can say what this is. It's a mainstream team book.
Uncanny X-Men.
Big. No, it's not an X book.
Justice League.
Yes.
Oh, of
So I
course,
jumped in
of
there.
course. It was the big doings, isn't it? When they
Oh,
had.
so
Yeah.
the 7. I'm trying to get my head locked into that time period.
Yeah.
This is fucking hard.
Yeah.
All the Wizard ones I find are quite challenging.
One we've mentioned. There's 2 now that are left. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. 2 have been mentioned this week. One was just mentioned.
Usagi Jimbo.
No. Let's have a free round. Anyone should shout if you can think of it.
Savage Dragon
No.
was just mentioned
Yeah. By you.
by me.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Here's one as always. Liberty Meadows. They always
No.
talk about
Good shout,
Liberty
but no.
Meadows.
Vince is going to kick himself at least around 2 of these. I'll give you a
Any
clue on
hints?
another one. One's written and drawn by Jim Lee.
Oh,
Oh, Leave It to Chance. No, not Leave
No.
It to Chance. It's, what's that one with the fucking...
I don't think you're right. It's a mainstream big team book.
was that Batman Hush?
No.
No, because that wasn't.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Fantastic Four.
Oh,
Who was
fuck.
in first there?
Very good.
I'll give you
No,
both.
Craig got that
Craig's one.
Yeah, Craig
Okay.
got that one.
Right.
Is the Darkness? one of
Yes, the Darkness. Well done, Vince. Yeah, Darkness.
them? Yeah.
We have got 1, 2, 3 left. One of which, Vince, you're going to kick yourself for. The other one was mentioned earlier, and the other one I don't know if you're going to get it. It was written and drawn by Randy Queen.
Oh, Darkchild.
Yes. Well done.
Fucking hell. That was a deep pull. Nice
Vince
work,
storms into the front.
Fucking hell. That dusty old drawer in the back of my mind just got opened.
Randy Queen.
2 left. Come on, boys.
He did a lot of work with Top Cow. That's why I remember that one.
Yeah,
yeah.
Give us another hint, T. We're fucking flown with it.
Oh, I
Wildcats.
can't because you're both. One is Vince's.
Cyberforce.
No. One we talked about when we talked about bars.
Hitman.
Yes, Vince. Fucking, you're ahead.
Vince
Last
I
one.
think.
Last one.
Is this the one I'm going to kick myself over?
Yeah. BB.
Body bags.
Yes, body bags.
Ah, that's a triumphant one from Vince.
If I didn't get that, just fucking, I would have
Speaking of,
retired.
let's do. So in the lead is Vince with 5, Dan with 3, Craig with 1. We're going to do top 10 artists, September 1997.
Okay.
Yeah. So Wizard top 10 artists. Craig, start with you, mate.
Don't start with me.
Come back, cakes. You can do it. Come on.
Well, I'm going to rob Vince's. No.
You do whatever you want, my love.
Frank Miller then.
Frank Miller. No, weirdly, he's in the writers. but he's not in the
okay.
top 10 artists. Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho!
Vince.
That was what I was going to have, so I'm glad you stole it. Jim Lee.
Jim Lee, yes.
Mark
Dan?
Silvestri.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Craig?
Does any image creator I think it's going to be?
Honestly, you'll be here all night if I'm guessing.
Should we do an open forum?
Yeah.
Let's do an open shout.
Yeah.
Michael
Slowly,
Turner.
yes.
I would say McFarlane. I don't think he'd be in it.
He's not in it, sadly. Yeah.
Is Greg Capullo, though?
No.
Oh, that's surprising.
Frank Cho.
One's an artist, not Frank Cho, no. One's an artist we mentioned earlier when we talked about generic covers.
Oh, Alex Ross.
Yes.
Ross. So, Alex Ross for me is fine. It's like
Yeah, he's fine. He knows what he's doing.
fine.
He's just
It's
yeah.
hard to get too
Every
excited.
so often, he's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two brothers in here actually as well.
The Kubert brothers.
You have to say them.
Andy.
Do you know what? I was going to jump in and name both of them then, but I wanted to give Dan a chance.
Andy Kubert. It's not a joke. What's the other one?
Adam Kubert is the other one.
Adam Kubert.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got those.
Mark Bagley.
No,
Dan's favourite, Rob Liefeld.
sadly not. Although he should be. He should be on every fucking list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goes without saying.
Yeah.
I looked at the Infinite on Global Comics the other day. It's unreal. Unreal. It's
So lazy.
worth looking at. It's just spectacular. Eric Larson.
Sadly not. Although he should also be on every list as far as I'm concerned. One. Oh, it's hard to give you one. Maybe known more as an editor these days.
Joe Quesada.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, Wizard always had a thing for him.
Was he doing Ash at that
Yeah,
point?
I think so. And
No,
Azrael, I suppose. Yeah,
no, would it have been Daredevil around that time?
it might have been by then. No, Daredevil was it 1999, 2000? Daredevil, I'm going to say.
I can't
Because it's sort of almost started Marvel Knights, wasn't it?
I remember reading that Ash thinking this is supposed to be good, right? Is this good? And it's like, oh, it's not very good.
Yeah, it's just very 90s, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got 1, 2, 3 left. I'm not sure you'll get many of these. You definitely know who they are, but they're perhaps people we haven't talked about before. Much.
Dan Jurgens.
No.
Oh, that's a good shout there. Are we talking Image or what are we talking?
All one known for Image, the other two known for X books.
Stephen Platt.
No.
Weiss Potasio, however he says.
No.
That's a good shout.
Pat Lee.
No.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Yeah, that's a deep dive. You can get his artwork quite cheaply on
Jay
eBay.
Lee.
No.
Oh.
Right first letter for one of it. Where you said J Lee, right first letter for one of them, two of them. One is just a letter, then a middle name, then a last name. And the first name is J.
J. Scott Campbell.
Yes.
Man, that's fucking obvious. Now.
Joe Madureira.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well done, Vince. You're fucking steaming it.
Probably
one left.
Height of his powers, probably Joe Madureira. That.
Yeah, I reckon. One, although I suppose Ultimate's 3. He was known for, wasn't he? Okay, last one.
Humberto
I'm
Ramos?
not sure. Nah, I don't think you're going to get it. His first name is Carlos.
Pacheco.
Yeah, Carlos Pacheco. Hold on.
Vince, fucking hell.
Vince, you stormed that. So, Craig 2, Dan 5, Vince 13.
That's why Vince is on the tag team. He owns half the belt.
That's why I need to get out more. Oh, that was cracking stuff. How many did you get at home, listeners? Probably all of them, because you're brilliant and we don't know what we're talking about. But what we do talk about is shout-outs. So do we have any shout-outs this week, gents?
Yes, I've got one.
Yes.
So, right, if you're listening to this on the day of its release, this episode, so on the Monday,
26.
tonight at 7 p.m. At Cartoon County in Brighton, There's also a link. If you're on the site, you can find it. Otherwise, just look for Cartoon County. You've got Ilya is who is it? Ilya's talking to. I haven't written who he's talking to. Oh, I know the dude. Ilya's talking about Romo the Wolf Boy, and it's where Kickstarters meet self-made hero. Have a listen to that. We're fans of Ilya's work. Talked about it previously on here before. Met him at the Comic Mart last time I was there. Good lad. So go and have a listen to that. Or I think you can go along and listen if you're in the Brighton area. That's very good. That's my only one.
Nice. What's yours, Dan?
I've got Clear Run 3, our best-selling comic book is back, continuing the heartwarming story of Marty, the adopted greyhound, from our friends at Art92 Studio. Smash through the target. You can back and get all 3 books, which I highly recommend you do so because they're absolute fucking gems. We've got Under the Floorboards, Volume 2, Horror and Science Fiction, Simon Bisley, Andre Bresnan, Douglas Rich, Clint Langley, Steve Austin, Grant Alexander Richards.
Oh, Grant Richards in this. See the stuff he's done on this, man.
Yeah,
fucking hell.
Awesome. I bet the fuck out of this. Do 136 pages, 10 terrifying tales, infinite nightmares. Right. Do go take a look at it. It's very good. We've got
Grant's another one of those geezers who is top of his craft for me. I got a framed Hercules he did for me. I absolutely fucking love it.
Man, I've got a framed Viper alt cover he did for book the second book.
So good.
Brilliant. Love it.
Yeah.
Previous guest, Gary Seawood. We've got Legacy, Idols and Bones, issues 1 and 2. You can remind yourself for when that gets launched. You can read book 1 now on Global Comics, which I recommend you do. And that's me for the shout-outs.
Cool.
Nice.
Craig, you got any shout-outs, mate?
Not today, bud. No,
okay,
I'm
mate.
good.
You can go shout out your web design services. Craig,
Yeah.
which are absolutely fucking top hole.
Yeah, have we witnessed?
Yeah. ACPRecommends.com.
Anything, just let us know.
Good man. Good.
But we're not going to let the spotlight's still on you though, because it's the recommendation part of the show.
Yeah.
And the guests always go first. So what would you like to recommend this week, my friend?
It is Minor Arcana by Jeff Lemire.
Love it.
Written and illustrated, this one. And it kind of goes against my turn off because it's almost certainly going to be multi-book. So, but I think he can get away with it, So the spiel: Teresa, the daughter of a small town psychic fraud, returns home to care for her ailing mother, however begrudgingly. But when Teresa discovers that there may be more to the magic than she originally believed, she'll find herself caught in a town that desperately needs her help. I mean, Lemire can do no wrong in my opinion, in most cases. I think, especially this book, it sets up the pacing so fast. I don't know how he's able to, introduce the characters, set up the, just set the scene, set up the mystery so quick in so many pages while still getting the emotion from the characters. Do you know what I mean? You instantly know who Teresa is, as a character, the aggression and the emotion she's feeling. You get to know it in a few pages. And I think it's one of the, like we say, it's show don't tell, right? You yourself start building the picture in your mind of who Teresa is, and then you start filling in all the gaps as you go through the story and get the backstory from her. And so would definitely recommend.
I like the way Lemire almost has sort of 2 or 3 careers, doesn't he? He has his self, the ones he writes and draws. I guess starting, with what was it, Essex County onwards, and going through a lot of different styles and iterations. We've then got the ones where he's applying himself to do already existing, long-standing characters when he's writing mainstream DC and Marvel. And then we've also got stuff like Black Hammer and all the spin-offs from that, which are kind of him sort of playing about. It's almost like a mixture of the two, isn't it? Yeah. I just admire that he keeps up. He's so
and
he does so many work.
Was of course fundamental in Valiant when it was absolutely firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. One of my favourite bits of Valiant back then. And he's just been a machine. And I remember seeing him when he was quite new. God, it's got to be about 15 years ago now when I was at New York. Comic-Con, and he's just such a great little mainstay, putting out solid books constantly. And stuff like Sweet Tooth, I'm glad that got. I've never really watched the TV series. I don't really watch that sort of thing, but I'm so glad that he made a few quid off it.
Yeah,
that's why I like these TV series, because I hope that the creators make a few quid.
Yeah, and he's also a creator that is in the same vein of like a Daniel Warren Johnson. And people will be like, well, the art's not the same. It's not what I'm talking about. They tell
there's a personality to the art though,
and they tell their stories. And both of those creators, emotion is the core factor going for it, isn't it?
I think that's where he crosses all genres. Yeah. I mean, from Senders or Sentinel to Underwater Welder to this, he can just do it across any genre.
Yeah. I do love his mark making, man, as well. I got that art book of his. It's not a sort of half memoir, half art book that came out last year. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, you recommended it on the show, didn't you? That.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I can't think of the name of it because it's in my office. But it's really, really nice. We'll maybe stick it in the show notes or something, or in the Substack tomorrow. But yeah, beautiful stuff. Yeah, he's got such a style about him that kind of, when I first saw it, I thought, does this work? Oh, it does work.
Yeah.
And it does work because he knows it's so individual and he knows how comics work.
Because the people look odd.
Yeah, they do. They do look odd. But then again, Kirby's people look odd. Ditko's people look odd.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these people who just so work in comics, that's the only place they should work.
And it's like, and if you think about it, it's not that they look odd. They look different from the stuff that's just
consistently different as well. I think is I mean, me and Eamon did an episode of NIA on Essex County, and I love that episode. It's just such a beautiful read, man. I never did it come out as a TV series. I don't even know if it did.
They've been working on it, haven't they? I think.
Was it like a failed pilot or something? I don't know. I can't remember now what happened, but yeah.
But I need to read Essex County. That's one of the ones that's.
It's a nice bit of telephone book kind of collection now. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Nice. That's a strong one to start off with. Tony, how can you follow that up?
I'm going to talk a little bit about For the Record, which is by Dave Robertson, our buddy. So he sent this through, and we referenced him early, and I know you're going to jump in a minute as well, V. But we referenced him earlier as being a guy who makes consistently good comics and sends them out, and is very very Dave in his comics in the way he does them. And he sent this through. It's A5 black and white, perfect bound, and he sent it through to me, and I'm friends with Dave. We're good friends, and we speak on the text and everything, as we all do, and I've appeared on their podcast. But it just I so warmed to this as I went through, and I've got a history with music, I guess, and I think Dave and I are of a similar age, and this is it's almost, I feel like it could be talking about the history of the format of how we digest music interestingly, and it's a collection of anecdotes from Dave and others. I think there's a couple of family members talk about it. It's about growing up and enjoying and buying and ingesting and talking about, and the culture and the changes to the consumption of music since the sort of late 70s, early 80s, which makes it sound a bit dry, but it isn't. It's personal, and there's one of my favourite bits in it is Dave takes his, I think it's a girlfriend. I think this may be his wife now. I'm not sure.
Okay.
He takes his girlfriend to a Yes concert. Never take your partner to a prog rock gig, even if you're massively into prog. It's a mistake I've certainly made, because prog, when you're into sort of, as she describes it, the 30th hour of a guitar solo, it's pretty good, and it's just full of nice little things like that. There's a bit like a page of, there's the odd bit of photograph in it as well, or there's the odd sort of, he's copying a photograph. The back cover is a collection of cassette tapes in those boxes we used to get, all these like little bootleg collection cassette tapes that we have. Still got some of them. And he gets into the physicality of it. He did the same with gig tickets as well, actually. And he goes from records to CDs to tapes and more. He talks a little bit about streaming. And we get, but Dave's not a snob about music. You know how a little, the more obscure the band, the cooler you are for mentioning them sometimes. And if you mention a band and they've never heard of them, and they had an EP out in '72 and that was it, you seemingly cooler. But Dave's not like that. He talks about mainstream bands as much as anything else. Talk about the Police, Tears for Fears, Seal, Leonard Cohen, Big Country. There's a lovely little anecdote about Big Country in it. Clannad's Robin of Sherwood album. That was a massive album for me.
Fucking banger.
It's such a good album. Marcella Detroit. Do you remember Marcella Detroit when she left Shakespeare's sister and all this sort of thing? Was she the woman? I think she was. She was in The Masked Singer last weekend. Okay. That's embarrassing. So he talks.
You said it. We did. It wasn't
I know,
controversial.
We left you to die on that hill.
Yeah, I put my chin out on that one, didn't I? He talks about it's a hobby, but he also talks about the effect in the back. There's a little essay in the back of it, and he talks about his hobbies. You know, obviously we know he's into comics, but he says music's this thing that hits you immediately in a way. It's strange, isn't it? I mean, we're so lucky with music now. I have got all of the musical world in Spotify on my phone, and I'll drive along and I'll listen to the first 5 seconds of the song, skip, skip, like that, and it's like,
Yeah.
I never did that. I was talking to someone at work about this the other day, and they listen to music whilst working, and I said I can't do that. And the reason I've come up with this idea, I'm not sure to this before, is that I actively used to listen to music, so I used to have to get off my bed and turn a record over. And that's why. And it just doesn't want to go song after song. That is, people listen to music. The art in it is scratchily all that's needed. I'm going to describe it as. He doesn't noodle. He doesn't draw beyond anything that he doesn't need in it. A lot of it is himself. A lot of it is him imitating album covers as well. You can go to fredeggcomics.blogspot.com and I texted him saying this is my favourite so far. He was pleased, but he got rejected on Kickstarter, and I don't know why. He talks about it a bit at Fred Egg Comics at his site, and you can go to fredeggcomics.bigcartel.com and buy a copy. He's a regular on the Slack, and we've watched the progression of it. He usually puts a page down with some pens covering the bits that are the sort of the spoilers, and I kind of feel that this is all I need from small press in the UK. I don't need people making comics because they think they're going to break into Marvel. Like, let's face it, you probably ain't. I just like this sort of personal thing that actually things happen in it, and it's interesting, and it certainly reminded me of my life of sitting there listening to the top 40 or the top 20 on a Sunday night with the record and play, press down and pause, ready for the DJ to stop talking so I can record the song. And I've got a couple of those cassettes still about. And it also reminds me, I'm going to say, of like a fanzine you used to maybe find in record shops. You used to get a lot of these punk zines as well in record shops. But it's the beauty of the personal here, I think, somehow.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Fee?
One of my, I just like, it is that sort of personal, because music is such a personal thing to a lot of people. But it's in seeing that an individual's sort of take on it. I think it works as a book that also inspires you to get nostalgic about your own things. It makes you think about your own. It's not saying. It's certainly not a book that's like, oh, what I did is more important than anything that you like or anything like that. Yeah. It's just a take. And
I'm thinking about my records that are in the garage.
Exactly. And there's even one of my favourite pages is a photo. And it says at the top, here's a fun thing to do if you're a music fan. Start a list of all the gigs you've been to in your life. Keep adding to it as you remember them. It's an interesting exercise, which is a wonderful thing to do anyway. But he's added that the photo is obviously loads of tickets of his.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair play for fucking keeping those tickets. But also, much like great artwork in a comic, this is one of those. I was staring at it for ages thinking, like, the difference between seeing Prince and the New Power Generation, fair fucking play, Dave, to Jean-Michel Jarre, McCalman and Butler, Public Enemy, Terrorvision, Brian Ferry, even a cheeky little bit of Level 42 in there.
Oh, man, I saw Level 42 on my 18th birthday. Okay, so let's
Lessons
do this here.
In love.
Let's do. He comes in on a rope to the Thunderbirds theme when I saw him. Let's do your first gig. Like, everyone's got to say what their first gig was.
Oh God,
Come on, mine was Twisted Sister at the Ipswich
Bloody
Gaumont.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I can't.
And at one point they shouted out, "Who are you?" And we all shouted, "We're sick motherfuckers." And the drummer threw a fake. There was like a fake. It was meant to be like a fake back alley on the stage, so it had like garbage cans, like American garbage cans. So the drummer threw a garbage can into the audience, and it hit my mate on the nose, and he got a bloody nose. But we continued on, and I didn't really have any sort of gig T-shirts to wear, so I only had a black V for Vendetta T-shirt, which I wore to that.
Wow, first ever.
Craig,
gig.
what was your first gig? Come on, mate.
Oh my God.
I think it was Reef in Sheffield. I think the
bad.
Reef Seahorses. I think that was mine.
Okay, quite cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Dan?
Circling back, like this is another one for me because you guys are obviously a bit more into music than I. And so when I was reading this book, I've got a different experience from it because for me, music's something I listen to and enjoy, but I'm not maybe heavily into it
Okay. Yeah, I get you.
as you guys. Man, I can't even remember my first gig, and I've been to loads. I
Right.
I can't recall.
Yeah,
Nolan's?
there's some that's the Nolans. There's some that sort of stick out, of course. But like, remembering the first one, I think the first one might have been going to see a friend's band play way back
All right.
in college. Do you know what I mean? Uncle Brian, they were called.
That's a cool name.
And it was just like a little pub gig. Do you know what I mean? And then shortly after that, come the festivals and then the individual gigs and all of that. Do you know what I mean?
This aged me. I think one of the first kind of like music gigs I ever went to was like a Dream All Nighter down in Brixton.
Oh, right. Bloody hell.
Dream, what, like D-Ream? Things will only get better.
Dream.
never
It
did.
used to be a pirate radio station.
Ah,
Wow.
right. Okay. It's like a
Yeah.
rave thing you went to.
Wow.
Look at you, acid head.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
I can't remember any of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So no, it's for the record, it's a great little tale.
Good little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good little thing.
Yeah,
Well
if you
done,
go
Dave.
to fridaycomics.blogspot.com, you can find more of Dave's books and pick up the rest of them, which are great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've loved all the stuff that Dave's sent through, and I really appreciate that he sent it through.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Dan,
Cool.
what have you got?
My recommend is a couple of books I backed on Kickstarter called Ocular Combustion, but issues 1 and 2. They're kind of like a pulp anthology series, 2 issues, 28 pages each. I got mine digitally. They star 3 tales. First one's The Adventures of Riley Gideon, which is very much like a kind of Flash Gordon, pulpy sci-fi character, like 1950s, or dropped into this world. He's a bit of a kind of Han Solo type, and he gets involved with dealing with trying to find the captured princess of like an underwater kingdom, and he's off on his own. He's got this kind of strange monkey style psychic that doesn't say anything but is his sort of sounding board as he's kind of going through his adventures. Absolutely lovely artwork throughout, and the writing is spot on. You've got Fallen Stars, which tells a story of like an underground sort of resistance movement fighting against like the powerful government of the day. I've run through creators in a sec because the books themselves are absolutely fucking so well written, so well put together, and the artwork is lovely. Well worth checking out. We've got Jake Ford, which you will like this one, Vince, Werewolf of Fortune, who's an adventurer turned werewolf. In the first issue, he's in the pyramids. In the second one, he's in the jungles of the Vietnam serving with American GIs, which is fucking crazy.
This just sounds right up my fucking...
In the second issue, they get ambushed by a Viet Cong sniper, and he goes into werewolf mode to try and take them out, which is just absolutely fucking fun throughout. I've got mine through Kickstarter, but if you Google Ocular Combustion, you can pick up the creators. The campaign's created by Drew Woodworth, and creator-wise, let me just quickly blast off some of the names of the creators. It's from Stump Change Comics. One of the good things, I don't know if you've ever done this, where you back to Kickstarter and they send through a whole load of books from friends and stuff. I downloaded like about a dozen issues of other comics they'd lumped in from other creators. Yeah, so that's fantastic. We've got Don and Drew Woodworth, John Lucas on art, PH Gomes on colours, Marco Della Verde on colours. Letters, sorry. There's a whole creative team for each book, so I won't go for each one, but Don and Drew Woodworth write them all. The standout artist for me was the werewolf artist, which is not listed on this one. Shit, but absolutely lovely artwork throughout. Do go check it out because I was very impressed.
Nice. My one, just a couple of quick ones from me. A very quickly brief mention. I read the Cobra Commander volume, which was very fucking good, from Skybound.
Yeah.
But my one, I checked out the second volume of the Deviant, which is an Image comic series. It's the second and final volume. This from James Tynion the fourth and Joshua Hixon, as I mentioned. I briefly talked about the first one. I think I was reading the issues way back, and
you were. There was wasn't there a big wait for the final issue or something like that?
Yeah, and I paused, and in that pause, I suddenly realised, oh shit, I haven't read this, and now there's 2 volumes of it. And it's a crime, it's a serial killer crime story set in Milwaukee in 1970. Well, there was a murder in 1972. A bloodstained Santa Claus commits unimaginable atrocities against young men. 50 years later, a troubled young writer interviews the so-called Deviant killer, who still maintains his innocence from behind bars. And as Christmas approaches once again, the past returns, wielding a sharpened axe. Very atmospheric, feels very much in that sort of a serial killer vein. All about atmosphere and an ongoing investigation. It keeps it murky. The characters' motivations and what happens are sort of murky. It's a good one and done sort of read. Like, Craig, if you want to read this, the 2 volumes, you can read the story ends in 2 volumes. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. For me, the superstar, I mean, there's lots of things going on, and it's a lot in what the characters don't say and in this, but there's certain moments where Hixon's work is just absolutely stellar in terms of like building an atmosphere. There's one in the second volume. There's one particular scene where this FBI investigator, this killer wears this strange sort of like blank mask, which is what the original killer did in 1972. So following this lead, where would they get that mask from? There's this woman that has been making these fake masks and selling them on Etsy, for the weirdo serial killer fans and stuff. And you can tell, he goes to visit her, and when he has like a bit of evidence, she wants to take a picture with it, like a selfie and stuff, because she's so obsessed with it. Later on in the issue, she's at home and she's got loads of cats, and it's all set. The thing is, it's all set around Christmas time as well. So you have the glow of the trees, which usually indicate. Normally, that's a nice thing, but there's lots of the lights go out, but the tree lights stay on, which gives a real sort of atmosphere. And she's there, and she notices the door in her house is open. This is a minor spoiler because I just loved the way that this was done in the comic. She notices the door is open in her house. She shuts it. She's blaming the cat, sort of saying, "Oh, I didn't know you. How did you do that? You're not supposed to, And then the lights go off in the house. This is in the space of like a couple of pages. And she goes in and she sees like a Christmas tree, and she thinks, she calls out to the house, "Oh, I've got a gun, you better stay away from this place." And she looks at her table where she's been making the latest line of masks. And there was 5 of them, and it clearly said it earlier in the issue, and you see like she's got like 5 lined up that she's working on. And she walks up to the table and she looks down, and one of the masks is missing. And the final page of that is her going, "Oh no!" And behind her, there's the killer wearing the mask with an axe behind her. And it was like one of those. That's how you do it. That's a real sort of, because it's all in the way she goes, "Oh no." Very quiet. She doesn't scream. She's just that quiet. She knows exactly what's going to happen. And that was like my favourite moment of the book. But the rest of the book plays out really well as well. It's one of those, like all of these, take a Silence of the Lambs, or all of these sort of serial killer sort of stories. There's a darkness to them, and it's more about the lingering effects that people have. But the Deviant, I think it's a nice sort of one and done. It's 2 volumes. I don't think they'll do it they won't release it as one big volume. I don't think it was an enormous. I know it was it was a success, but I don't think it was enormous to get.
I think it was going really well, and then there was a bit of a moan about the delay, wasn't there?
Yeah. But it's 2 strong volumes. If you like serial killer stories, and atmospheric, and like I say, Hixon, who I think he worked on the plot for, was it Vault Comics? Do you remember that one? That weird supernatural one? Yeah.
Okay.
He's another just artist that he's just does great work. Yeah, really good artist.
Part of the Truth. Was that him? No.
That's Tynion and Martin. Oh, did he do a fill-in or something?
He might have done a fill-in or something. You have to see. But yeah, well worth your time if you like that sort of stuff. And that's mine. Tony, do you want to sign us off?
Yeah, fast comes then. So Pantheon, issue 1, story by Mohsen Ashraf, art by Willie Roberts, letters and book design by Lyndon White, edits by Catherine Blair. Not to be confused with Pantheon by Bill Willingham, which interesting is kind of a sequel to Elementals. Did you know that? I never knew that until recently. It's not Pantheon by Hamish Steele either. It's not Pantheon by Andre Berkeley and Devon Arscott. It's not Pantheon by Michael Chiklis. Do you remember the guy from The Shield?
Yeah.
He did a fucking comic called Pantheon, believe it or not. It's not Pantheon by Peter David. It's not Pantheon at Carnal Comics. It's not Pantheon at Raven Press. It's not Pantheon at Omni Comics. It's not Pantheon at Silverback Comics. It's not Pantheon at Kessler Comics either. It is Pantheon. And you can go to the website pantheonmyths.com and find it. It's got sent through to us in the emails to the podcast. Thank you very much. Not much about the story in the email, actually. It's more about what the writer wanted to talk about, which I found a couple of interesting things here. There's another one we're going to talk about, and I'll pose to you in a second. He wanted to communicate: global mythology, how myths shape modern identities, building long-form universes responsibly, the intersection of myth, media, and belief, and translating comics and lore-heavy IP to the screen, which I found an interesting one. When he says screen, I'm not sure if he means TV screen or he means like iPad screen. I don't know. It opens on something called the premise in the summary. So I found that a weird word to use. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I thought strange to me, but I thought it might be worth mentioning to you. So it's kind of like background to the story, like we talked about. You know, it's the sort of lore of the book, but calling it the premise smelt more of a pitch document. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. I'm glad you. Yeah, I thought you might agree with that one. Yeah, just be careful, I'd say, guys, with that using the premise. Seems strange. It's almost like takes you out of the story just using that word in a way.
Yeah.
The story is a fun story, and it's really good art. I have to say the art is really impressive. It reminds me of kind of the Vertigo series and the sort of adjacent books at the time that put mythology in the modern world, I guess. And it's something we've seen before. I was rereading Greek Street by in my listing. I come across the run of Greek Street by Peter Milligan, and excuse me, I can't remember the artist off the top of my head, but it reminds me a little of that, which applied the Greek myths into the modern world, into sort of Soho. And I guess Wonder Woman and Thor have done it for decades, haven't they?
Yeah.
When you think about it. Sandman, Hercules, even the sort of Captain Marvel Shazam version incorporated the myths, didn't he? Solomon, and his name's made up by those people, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, Solomon, Hercules, etc. Achilles. So it gives us the first issue as a good, well-written, well-structured comic does. It gives you the different strands of the story that we presume will intertwine further along in the series. This is a Kickstarter book. It's currently on Kickstarter. My favourite being this human, and he's in a museum with his mate, and they're hitting on 3 girls. And he just says to the girls, "Oh, come on!" One of the blokes goes off one way with one girl because he's a bit nerdy to see something in the museum, and he goes, "Come on, let's go and look at the weapons or something." I think. So they wander off, and he's suddenly confronted by weird blokes surrounding this thing and sort of doing some weird prayer. This takes place in Sweden, by the way. And these massive sort of fire demons, I think they're called Jotuns, appear. And so does a hooded version of Odin. Now, Odin's not the Thor version. Odin is this fucking beast of a man, massive warrior of a man. And him and Odin fight these fire demons. And the geezer doesn't do too badly. He does all right. And then he's sort of transported off to this other place. And that geezer's his story's going to continue. And then we get the other element of it is the sort of in-court intrigue that's going on, and there's a murderer in the background, and there's this sort of hooded, masked figure as well. And there's one bit which is kind of like the sport of the gods, I'm going to say, which is where they have to carry this ball across the border, and there's these teams fighting each other, and one team is sort of a bit like 3 Wonder Women kind of Amazonian characters. I will say one bit of the dialogue, which is up to that point has been readable. At that point, he starts throwing in what we talked about earlier, little asides that we didn't need in the middle of a battle. So one of the girls, who are these Amazons, says, "I can't wait to slip back into bed with this dream boat I met." And I'm like, where did that line come from? So I think everything's going well. And then we just got that. And I'm like, I don't know why we just seem to want to fill people's mouths with stuff, and it was so out of character of the tone I'd been reading so far, I guess. But I thought,
so where'd that come from?
Not sure about that, but yeah. Is there's I say this, I don't want to say this negatively, but it's very much built up on something that we've seen before. So the taking old legends of characters and putting them in the modern world and seeing how current humans react with gods and stuff like that. It's not reinventing the wheel. It just needs to be done well, and it does it well enough. This story, it's a readable, fun story. I very much enjoyed the focus on the young man who's taken on this ride by Odin, and he gets these sort of gauntlet things that might at some point give him some powers. But yeah, give it a go. It's, as I say, it's currently on Kickstarter, or you can go to pantheonmyths.com. It's got his own website,
Nice.
and have a look at it. That's my last one. As you go.
Amazing. What a brilliant lineup of comics for you all to check out, Andy. You have no reason not to, because you listen to this show, so you obviously like independent comics and just good comics in general, and good podcasts. And we thank you very much for listening to this week's episode and all the fun that we had. See, it's not just all boob jokes and fart jokes and
There's
jokes.
a few to come yet.
Yeah.
Didn't do too many of them this week.
No,
sadly.
no, we were surprisingly thought-provoking. And if we provoked your thoughts, perhaps we can provoke them into getting in touch with us if you want us to know more, if you've got an event, or
Send your comic in.
yes, send your comic in. Email us awesomecomicspod@gmail.com. You can follow us on social media at awesomecomicspod on Insta, at the awesomepod on X. And where did you listen to this show? Well, we appreciate it no matter where you listen, but perhaps it was on the Podbean app, on awesomecomics.podbean.com, Apple Podcasts. Give us a review, say something nice. Hopefully you liked it. Please don't say anything nasty on there. But good reviews helps bump up the algorithms and all that nonsense. Much like on Spotify, Amazon, Stitcher, Podnose, Podknife. What other networks are we on, Tony?
We're in the other network. With the world on fire, what kind of country is it that we are currently living in where you can't get dong laser pointers?
Oh,
Fucking right.
that's a world gone fucking mad. Absolutely mad. I mean, we don't want to improvise, do we? Fucking
Dan is
mad.
desperate to buy these laser pointers, Craig, that you point at someone and it makes it look like you've got to draw one of those kiddish drawn in penises on it. And he's been searching the web for them, and he's quite angry that he doesn't have to pay £20 for it to get.
I put one through and it said £20 from Canada. I said, I ain't paying £20 for a penis laser pointer. Not on my watch.
Yeah.
There's a massive opening in the UK for someone to start selling penis laser pointers.
Really?
Send us a link, Dan.
Yeah.
TikTok shop, surely.
Bloody hell. Right, well, perhaps we need to set up an Awesome Comics PO box that people can but what we have set up is an amazing Slack group before Dan takes it. I can see him, he's laughing to himself.
Nearly took it off road there, so no, stop.
Yeah, but join the wonderful Slack community, get in touch with us, and there's loads of channels on there talking about comics and the show and everything in between. You can get the merch from acpgear.redbubble.com if you want to support the show, and acprecommends.com, which has been sorted out by the wonderful Craig here.
Thanks, Craig, mate. It's such a great service, and the way you've tweaked it recently or semi-recently is just excellent. Thank you, mate.
Yeah. Does the Substack help at all? When I put the covers up there, if you plunder it from there, Craig, or do you have to find the covers? We can talk about this after the show.
He's just doing the office work live on air.
But thanks, mate. Long before we had Slack, you were plundering, you were listening and adding, and it's just brilliant. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Massive shout, Craig.
So not only on this episode, but look at our back catalogue. You go to acprecommends.com. It's very simple URL that, and if you like the sound of any of the comics that we recommend on a weekly basis, there's links. It's a one-stop shop. It's brilliant. So there you go. And it's all done by our wonderful guest this week. And other than that, where can people find us online, etc.? Tony?
Neveronanything.com or Tony Ez on Substack. I actually found two comics today that I've forgotten I'd actually written. How fucking mad is that?
Yeah, the dog breath.
Nice.
Two of them. I forgot that, and then I thought, I'm in that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Keep that special.
Might talk about that this week.
Dan, you held your finger up as if you go.
Yeah, more about that later on after we finish the show. I've got to talk to you two guys about something.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to catch up with me, you can find me on Twitter at Vanguard Comic. You can be Vanguard at VanguardComic.com.
Nice. You can follow me on
Send him a
social
laser
media
pointer.
at Jester Diablo. Craig, you legend. Thank you for joining us again. Are you on social media? Where can people find you? Or
Just never pick the Slack, ACP Slack community. That's the only place I am.
There you go, and that's
Good
another
man.
reason to
Good
join
man.
it. So you can talk to Craig and lots of other amazing people on there. Thank you very much for listening, folks. It's been another fun one. Stay tuned next week for another great guest and an insightful look at making comics from all of us in ACP Towers. Dan, Tony, Craig and myself. Have a brilliant week. Keep enjoying the comics you're reading, no matter what they are, as long as you're happy reading them. That's the main thing. And from all of us here, have a brilliant, healthy, wonderful week. And I always forget this last bit. What else should they do?
Stay awesome.
Stay awesome.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.